I'm a warrior. I go to the core. I am invictus. Nothing crushes me, nothing.
You can hold the outside this time, Mike. Oh, Samansky binned it. No way. No way, binned it. Get on the marbles, mate. Get on the marbles, pal. Oh, no, 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 no. My throttle stuck. Oh, my God. Throttle stuck. It's over. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God, there's no way, bro. Bro, I swear to God, this can't be happening to me, bro.
Throw a punch at me, Cryptic. See if I can dodge it. Just my dodging skills, innit? Damn.
Inside. Yo, lads. What's going on? What's going on? Listen, I've actually got my wheel. My wheel's over there. Today, we're doing up engineer roles, lads. We're doing up engineer. It is the Tatum ResTech Esports Championship Round 1 at Qatar. And Pregnant was telling me that basically I can get into the lobby as a spectator and be an engineer. So I thought I might as well do that on a Monday, as it wasn't really, the races this week kind of rubbish, you know. Well, I wasn't really happy with the races that we were doing last week, bro. I thought it was kind of boring. So hopefully this race will be pretty decent. It's got all the fastest guys in it. Hold on, let me see if I can sort out my headphones. Yeah, this race is gonna have all the fastest guys in it, man. So it should be a good one. Should be a good one. I don't think it starts until 8 o'clock, so we got like 25 minutes or so. Chat rubbish. See how it goes, mate. Yeah, but the strategy's good. The strategy's good. I'm telling you, brother. Cryptic Schmitz. I'm telling you, I could have worked for Red Bull. I'm telling you, brother. You know what I mean, mate? Could have been on the pit wall at RBR. That's how good the strategy is. Don't you worry. You worry. What's been going on anyway, lads? I got my... You lot don't know about the Apple tires up. Cheers. I know about that. Alright. Let's see what's going on. We got the team in there as well, bro. We got the team in there. Well, I'm gonna let them lot chill for now. I'm gonna let them lot chill for now until it's time, bro. What you don't know about? You don't have Apple. See in Denmark, you don't have one of these, bro. Apple tires, you know. Oh yeah. Too refreshing. I'm on a sugar rush right now. I can't even lie. I'm glad this race is happening today because I was feeling kind of ill today. I can't lie. I feel like I'm coming down with something. I feel like I'm coming down with something. But I'm awaiting this race. The pace should be insane, bro. Now we're really gonna find out every car's bop. See what everyone's picked. Because this championship has pretty much all of the top guys in it, bro. All the names you can think of are racing. 56s, no, they're quicker than that, bro. they're a lot quicker than that. They're a lot quicker than that, bro. A lot quicker than that. Already seen quali will definitely be a lot faster than 55, bro. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, bro. The AFCON final was hilarious, bro. The AFCON final was hilarious. I'm surprised that Diaz guy is still alive, isn't it? Man's trying Panenka in the final. In the last minute. Are you okay? Who is it that's never won it? Is it Morocco that's never won it? I think Morocco's never won it, isn't it? Nah, there's no way he's doing that on purpose, bro. He's tried to grab the headlines, isn't it? Like, brother, all you have to do is put it in the back of the net. In '76, what country's never won the AFCON then? I thought it was Morocco that had never won it. Bro, yo, he's cooked. I'm telling you. And that dressing room must have been real quiet. You say that a man might as well change nationality after that. You're Spanish now, bro. Man like Sadio Mane though. Come on. Yeah, man. I reckon he could get on the bench in that Spanish team, but I don't think the Spanish team's all that good. Senegal won it before. That's crazy. The man said James Hunt, you know. What do you man think of the new liveries anyway? The new F1 liveries so far? I think it's about time. It's about time Red Bull went back to the old school thing. Yeah, the Red Bull livery looks nice. I said they know they cook, so why don't look good instead? Probably true, bro. Them man, I don't know, bro. To be honest, I think a lot of people are gonna struggle with the maybe not the performance of the engine, but the reliability. I think is gonna be an issue for most of the teams, bro. You see a lot of breaking down, boy. Yeah, Logan. How a man gets another driver is insane. I don't think Caddy are doing a damn thing. I think Audi might be decent. But when you're taking mostly stuff from other people, bro, you don't really have a plan there. Let's be honest. These men are gonna put a pickup truck in WEC for him. But saying that their Ford GTE was a monster, I can't even lie. That car was doing up bits. You never know. You never know. Hope Caddy do well. But I'll be surprised if Caddy are better than Haas, bro. I'll be real. I mean, I got more hope in Audi. I feel like it wasn't that long ago. Caddy didn't even know whether they'd be accepted. So, like, what can they really have built in that short span of time? Where Audi knew they were coming in for a while, so they've had time to prepare. So they'll be yellow, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the first season, man. I think the first season is probably going to be dire anyway. I think first season is probably going to be poor. We're probably going to see a Russell versus Antonelli, which I don't feel like that will be very difficult for Russell. Not sure Antonelli's quite got the consistency yet. He's still very young. So I'm putting it now. I'm saying Russell for the dub. Russell for the championship. And said, oh, look, what with Perez and Bottas, fam? Them man ain't good enough to pull no brawn. Can't lie. You can give them man the best car. Unless it's like 9/10 quicker, they're still not winning the championship. I mean, Caddy got the financials to get it right. Eventually. Not sure they got the drivers lineup though. Man says it's gonna be good to have Bottas back. Don't really rate Bottas, I'll be real. I got a feeling it's gonna be like 2014. You see, I feel like Perez is more of a dog than Bottas is, bro. Bottas is like good in quali, but he can't race for real. He's not a racer like that. You can bully Bottas, bro. Perez will get elbows out. You know what I mean? I think Perez is a better racer than Bottas. Bottas just decent in quali. Yo, Mike, what's going on, bro? Errol, how you doing, brother? It's gonna be interesting. Let's see. How long we got now? We got about 12 minutes, man. This should be a crazy race. Man said he was in silver. I mean, he ran into the boys. Gave him that quick demotion. Let me look at this new schedule. Let me look at that. Let me see this thing. So we got Portimao fixed. LMGT3 Bahrain fixed out a night thing, yeah? Jeez. Oi. Might hit up a couple bronzes in that. Might have to do a couple bronzes. ENMS sprint trophies at Kota. Prototype fix at Silverstone. Little Interlagos thing again, yeah? We had this like 2 weeks ago. Jeez. Hypercars LMGT3s. Oi. Might have to get invested. And look, the weekly race is Fuji. I know Marius is doing this, bro. Oh, you almost got to silver too. Yeah, bro, it's tough. This looks decent though. Decent calendar. Decent. Sebring as well, but that's fixed. We won't be doing that. When's Barcelona coming, man? I need this. No special events. You're right, bro. Damn. That means Barcelona must be coming. That's the only thing I can think of, bro. Barca must be coming because why is there no special events? You know what I mean? Barca must be coming soon. They got a week off. What are you talking about? I suppose they did do 5 back-to-back, but when we supposed to be getting Barca? End of Jan. The live stewarding is basically more for the championship races, man. The updates always drop on a Tuesday. Yeah, I can't wait for Barca. I think it's going to be good. That's like the ultimate testing circuit, isn't it? Oh, AI stewarding. I don't know, bro. I don't be trusting that AI, bro. If you got one piece of bad algorithm, AI will never be in your favor again. But let me see if that server's open yet. Yo, is that server open yet?
Open now. You can spectate.
Yeah, let me try and find it.
Yeah.
Is it in the
Hosted.
Yeah, hosted. Yeah. password, mate.
Oh, okay. 1 minute. Well, even as a spectator.
Yep.
1 minute.
Yeah. Bro, this finna be peak. But we got some names up in here, you know. We got Whitehead, Sam Gaskell, Liddon, Philip Minnar. They're people. Brendan Dowking, Barrier, Kalkoff, Jules Neal, Vianney, Porco. There's a lot of the Italians seem to like the hypers, man. Aid Walsingham. Should be interesting. Hopefully we can get in because didn't think there'll be a password on it for spectators, but there is. Yeah. Might have to do that. Yeah, I watched that on Twitch. Right. What we'll do, lads, is we'll watch the stream just in case they get angry for handing out passwords and stuff. We'll watch the stream. Okay, Alexander Lay's up in there. Yeah, look at this field. Look at the guys in here, bro. This is the hypers. Emilu, Walsingham, De Bruyne, Grigoletto, Faulkner, David Marocek, Yone Simičić, bro. It's nasty. Hey, appreciate it, Michael. Appreciate it, bro. Like, Whitehead, Gaskell. I'm not even gonna bother to say his name. This guy's fast. I remember him from the Bahrain Endurance, bro. Hey, Marius, you know, you got a battle to be number one in Denmark, you know. Your Danish brother is he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, inveigle on your car choice as well. Let's have a look at the car choices anyway. Sam Gaskell, AMG. Tommy Liddon, AMG. Scalvini in a Ford. Whitehead in the Lambo. What's that? Bonacorsi in the Porsche. Philip Minnar, Porsche. Leandro Porco, Porsche. Jules Neal, McLaren. Well, a lot of Lambos, few Porsches, couple of AMGs, couple of Fords, and a Ferrari. He's saying he's getting sunned. Alright, I had to go find this on Twitch. Let me find this on Twitch, buddy. I know he was saying that the Lambo's OP and all that. Now he's in Lambo. Funny guy. Can I find the official stream, bro? Otherwise, we're gonna have to stream hop. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, I found it. I found it, bro. I've seen it one time, bro. This should be decent. I'm waiting for them to start this. I'm gonna see. Maybe I should have made like a watch along banner. Yeah, so it's gonna start in a minute. This is what we're waiting for. Hey, cheers. Appreciate it, Blue Zulu. We're going to be doing a watch along to this pretty much an esports race, you know, so should be good. Should be good. It might copyright strike me, but whatever. Like, whatever, brother. Yo, with you, how you doing, bro? It's supposed to start at 8 o'clock, which is like right now. But these things are always delayed, bro. This is the most stacked race. This is probably the most stacked race of the year so far. So it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna get a real read for what cars are OP, but around Qatar as well, it's a very difficult circuit, bro. Right, here we go. This should be good. No sound. Hold on.
Is that right?
Got sound now? Because you had to qualify for this championship. I think you had to pay as well. This is a like prize pool race and everything, man. It came on for a second. Hold on.
In first image, and it's gonna be a little bit difficult to see what can happen in the season because we have a really interesting calendar, of course. And the next race is gonna be completely on a different circuit, like Silverstone. So who knows? When it's gonna happen? I'm pretty curious about it. And
should be sound now.
I'm thrilled. I can't wait the qualifying starts. To be honest, Nathan.
Indeed, and of course, I don't know if anybody could guess. High speed and tricky, that could probably be many tracks, but of course we are heading to the Losail International Circuit, located in Qatar, a great track. Not so much for F1, but for endurance racing and MotoGP, I think it's a brilliant circuit, so I can't wait to see what the drivers get up to there tonight.
I just want to see quali, bro.
We head off.
Are you not going to be surprised when you see the lap times?
In all terms of motorsport, not just endurance race, and then we have a couple of weeks break.
No, it is
and we head back at the end of February for Le Mans. I'll explain a little bit more about Le Mans later because it will be a bit of a different format in terms of drivers allowed in and also the prizes. So we'll have a chat about that later on. Round 4, we head off to Silverstone in Great Britain. One of my favourite tracks. I'm very glad we're heading there. Totally not British biased. Then round 5, for many of our drivers and of course our production crew, we head to Monza in Italy, one of the homes of motorsport. And then to end off the season, we head to France.
Nothing better than a good old race, bro.
Where, of course, we will probably end up crowning our champion unless we have somebody that bars them through and we end up crowning them a round or two before. But, Andrea, very, very interesting calendar. Most tracks there are tracks that everybody should know, even if you don't watch any sort of motorsport. So, I mean, looking through, what sort of action are we expecting at the likes of Spa and Silverstone?
This race is,
tracks where
I think it's only an hour, though.
Back of their hand.
This race is only an hour.
A very, very short race in terms of gap because the most.
Right, look, I'm gonna turn these down before the race starts because I don't need to hear all this.
We have these amazing. We have a very.
How much money was it?
Very expert racing.
I can't remember.
Since probably the most of them.
Marius, do you remember what the prize pool was for this?
Maybe some new faces could be the surprise of the season. Who knows? But of course, as you say, the championship is going to be pretty interesting because we have a lot of different tracks. 2 high-speed tracks that is Spa, but it's completely different compared to Monza.
What like a grand? I can't remember how much it was, bro.
GT3 cars is a completely different setup, but maybe the hypercars.
I just remember there's a prize pool when you can win some equipment.
Since the third circuits, but it's gonna be probably also to the driver's feeling, how they feel the car on the wheel. If anything is gonna change, because we have to tell.
No, okay, VMS is 1,000.
Big tire update during the season that could absolutely mix the level again. So it's a very, very unpredictable season because of the calendar, of course, and because of this kind of modification of the grip level of the tire. So I sincerely.
Yo, Desmond, what's going on, bro? Come on.
Certainly, and of course, with the fact we're having that new tyre system, and I don't know much about it, I'm not much of a driver, I'm more of just somebody sitting behind a screen and speaks.
Come on, lads, let's get to the action.
Allowed one free change of car just in case one of the cars are in now becomes a little bit.
I don't know, should I move my camera?
Maybe go to something a little bit more competitive, but also just say the car they're in now.
Move it down there.
Over the next couple of rounds, they have that chance to change anyway and just go for something a little bit different. But of course, as I said earlier on, we have a lot of prizes up for grabs. I believe, if I'm counting correctly,
I don't know, there's prizes.
Total, 2,000 euros in total worth of prizes. And of course, we'll look first at the hypercar category. So we have a 1,000 euro, a ResTech aluminium profile racing rig. So that, of course, is for the hypercar champion. Second will win a Moser handbrake worth 150 euros. And third place will get a pair of Virage gloves, which are some of the best on the market. And 1 year of race control. That's around roughly 100 euros.
Bro.
And then for the GT3 category, they will win for first place a Moser KS Pro steering wheel, which is worth
Winning a handbrake from
50 euros, a Moser handbrake for second, and then the same for third, Virage gloves and a year of race control.
What happens
So
if you win a Moser
lots of
handbrake but you don't even have a
prizes
Moser
up
wheel
for
from?
grabs. I think every single one of them I'll be quite happy with there, especially the racing rig, which I've looked at a few of the ResTech ones because in the UK we don't have much of ResTech, to be fair. Had a look at it and it looks brilliant. So whoever wins that will probably be very happy with themselves.
I said Man U, you know.
Of course, it's going to be eyes on the
Man,
prize.
you put in one good
as
performance in their
Fritz
back
says,
front.
no? It's going to be very, very an important result for the wins, and getting that kind of rig at home is going to be even a game changer because I I have the
The cash is when you get the rig and you sell it.
This is beautiful. It's you feel like into a cockpit. It's very very nice to have it. So probably it's gonna be a pretty nice fight.
Most of the guys in this championship already have,
of course, Andrea. When we go into qualifying, the
probably
last thing we want
better
is
equipment
all
than
of
what the
our
prize is.
hypercars and all
So
of our GT3s out together, because I don't think
should have gave me
that
like a
Championship chat
Pimax
in Discord would be full of a
Crystal
lot of
Light
insults
headset
for
or
the
something.
drivers, because it just isn't going to work. So of course we have set rules for when cars can go out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I have no clue what I'm reading. So Andre, why don't you take us through how the qualifying system works for the championship?
So basically, the game, Le Mans Ultimate, doesn't allow to do a completely different qualifying session for both the classes. So to not have traffic, they're gonna split just about time. So the drivers are allowed to put their car on track when the race direction giving the flag, and they have to come back. I guess it's 12 minutes at the end of the qualifying. There will be one session about timing.
Yeah, cash should be involved, especially something like this. But
half, literally, and the race
expect
direction will
expect it to
give
get
a note
pretty
the drivers when they
argy-bargy,
can
bro.
join the track, and then we can when they have to come back at the end of the session. So the GT3 cars will
Yeah, the little come on, the
be
little
on track
Pimax
first,
tab, come
and
on.
then after their
I got the box
qualifying,
down here, you
will
know.
be an amount of time to the
Should be giving away one of
hypercar
these. Hold
cars
on.
to get their time for the qualifying. So it's gonna be literally 2 qualifying, but in one only session.
Should
so
be giving
this
away
is the
one of
split, and,
these, lads.
the driver are
One of
forced to
these.
respect the timing, because otherwise they will have a penalty.
Yes, the qualifying ban is not the one thing you want heading into the second round
Look
of the
at
championship.
Pimax team.
Let's hope
You know
that
what I'm
today
saying?
they all behave.
One of
Maybe in a
these.
couple of rounds they might think, oh, it doesn't matter, and they'll go out anyway. We'll see. We'll have to see how the drivers
That'd
are
be
feeling,
worth it, bro.
later on in the season. But of course, we have got a lot of familiar faces on this grid. I'm just looking through, and I can recognise
Links
at
in the
least half of
description.
them. And I don't come from an endurance background, so that shows what sort of level of drivers we have here. Of course, I think the one.
How about
name
the links are in the
that's
description, I'm not even lying.
Ex-Ferrari Esports HP driver. Or
I'm gonna get that
however you
2%
pronounce
off, links in the
name
description.
of Ferrari. Been there for quite a
Put
while.
on a little code
Of
cryptic.
course, he's won
You
many
know what I'm saying?
LFM Pro Championships. He's won the AOR T1 ACC Championship many times. And I think he's pretty much taken part in every sort of legal competition that you can do as an ACC driver who's moving into LMU. So drivers like him, we're expecting, I think minimum, you're expecting top 5s, aren't you? Just because of that level that they have normally above everybody else.
Nah, man, like VR is literally my favorite thing in the game. It's just
I think
that
it's gonna be one of
my
the
graphics card
that
struggles to
will,
stream it,
mention
so-
But at the same time, the grid is, as we said in the early stage of the broadcast, pretty on a high level generally. So of course, probably not gonna disappoint us, to be honest.
I'm trying to hold that
But
here.
at the same time, we will have a pretty rich competition, and I'm pretty much curious about to see which kind of drivers also from maybe
Man is
the
sim
unexpected
racing from his
ones
kitchen,
could
bro.
be on top, because as we say, there is a lot
His
of
missus has got him under the thumb.
variation changes during the season. There is a lot of things that we think about it. Also the cars, if you see
Yeah, I mean,
the,
put that rig in the
car
kitchen.
selection, we
And
have
after your race, make
Aston
sure you wash
Martin
the
that
dishes.
looks like one of the most performant cars, and I'm so happy about it because we can hear the sound of the V12. But of course, we have some Cadillac, then some Alpine, and even one Ferrari.
Man
So
said he's seasoning rack, you know.
It's also not only of the drivers, because of course, as you said, we have Whited, but we have also a big Italian group, so they're gonna.
About 70% of the drivers are Italian.
I don't want to cheer for them, of course.
I don't
want
know,
to be
man.
super partners, but it's.
If it's not a
gonna be
kitchen, it looks
interesting
like
for me
one.
to see which one will be the best from our side, and how much closer can be to the top of the grid in both of the categories. It's gonna be very very interesting from this side, and as you said,
Get
it's
on,
gonna
get
be
on with
difficult
it.
to understand which driver is gonna be on top immediately. I was even taking a little bit of a look at the time on the pre-quali, and the group is very very close. So I expect
Alright, quali, you know,
good
lads.
fight, especially on the middle group, but as well on the.
I might have to lock off the music for this, I can't lie.
Back to you for the start of the qualifying.
And now here we are. Finally, we got cars waiting at the end of the pit
Jeez,
lane to
come
head
on.
onto track.
It's not
Our
private quali
GT3s,
either.
They can start their final lap at 15 minutes on the clock. They can't start a lap after that. If they head into the 14 minutes, and they start a lap, they'll be penalised, and then they have to get back into the pits by
There's
the
Predator.
12-minute mark. So then the hypercars can head out.
What livery
and
is
get
this?
on with their qualifying. So we have a few cars on track. Looking at the GT3s, we've got a lot of Lamborghinis, a lot of Porsches.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about liveries,
there.
bro.
We've got a couple of Mercedes. We've also got a McLaren and a Mustang. I mean, I've driven LMU a couple of times, and I always choose a Mercedes. I don't know if it's the best car, but I think it's the same.
Oh, yeah, man's got the Baccarat, you know.
Heading into this race, Andrea.
Trust me, I got that Baccarat. It's mad.
Pretty difficult to understand.
I'm telling you, that snow don't wear off, boy.
There's been also a couple of patches, but
I know about the Baccarat Rouge. Come on.
That Lamborghini probably is gonna be the quicker car, but I see also a lot of Porsche. Porsche probably is the easiest one to drive, the most predictable. But Lambo probably is the best option right now. Of course, maybe it's not on all the circuits, but especially here looks pretty much competitive. So let's see if the car of the Sant'Agata Bolognese is going to be on top at the end of the session or not.
We'll have to see. And of course, our first car out on track will be Valentin Kalkov.
Who we got, lads? Who we got?
Through in towards that third sector.
Who we got for pole?
Of course, GT3 racing is quite difficult around here just because there's not that many opportunities.
Darking's still in the box. He hasn't even left the pit yet.
You're not often going to see any overtaking. I think the main overtaking spots are probably in Sector 2, heading down towards maybe Turn 10, towards Turn 6, and then also, of course, that big launch down in towards Turn 1. And I think this qualifying is always a bit of an unknown to us because we never really know where anyone's going to finish here. We see lots of names. We probably see names we expect to be at the top, but you never know what anyone else can pull out. So this first session, it's a bit of a taste to see what we're going to get from a few of these drivers. So we'll head down to Turn 1 now with Valentin Kalkov, and we'll see what he can do to open us up the championship.
Here it is, very heavy braking down Turn 1. Of course, the ABS is gonna help a little bit the GT3 cars. Probably the first lap is gonna be thrown away by the most of the drivers because they have to find the right point to brake. The limit is not gonna be easy. Of course, the car is pretty difficult to drive because there is pretty hot out there. Of course, this day, and temperatures on the track is pretty heavy. So a little bit of understeer maybe they have. You can see
the temperatures are high as well.
Of the driver, how much steering angle is given here in this section of the circuit. So probably the first lap is gonna be a cautious lap, and later we want to see the big times.
Well, it's fastest in the first sector still.
Do now in that middle sector, heading in towards turn number 7.
Oh no, I can't have my camera here.
Top right hander, get the car turned in, full steering lock there for Kalkov, and then round
I have my camera
turns
here.
8, 9, and 10. A bit of a slalom section. You have to throw it to the right. Hopefully, you don't run too wide.
Pull it back up there and quality.
Slam it on the brakes in towards turn 10. You can see down to second gear. Then immediately back on the.
Is it Darking's taking it easier?
Wide there onto that curb. Of course, it gives you a better run and a decent exit as you head your way in towards the triple right-handers of turns 12, 13, and 14. Just be, well, not be slow, but be steady through here. Don't throw the car in violently. Just keep it nice and calm through this whole section. The last thing you want to do is off-balance the car at over 150 kilometers an hour when you're going at about 80 degrees to the right. And then, of course, the two final...
Was he invalidated? There's no middle sector.
Turn number 16, of course, you could sometimes see a move.
Yeah, he must have invalidated.
That's most likely not going to happen on most occasions. As I believe there, Valentin did have an invalidation, so we'll be looking to go again as we have 21 minutes left in the session.
Top 5.
Of course, compared to a normal qualifying session here.
I think Predator should be up there, bro.
They can't just keep going and going and going. They only have a select
55-4 already, first lap.
Exactly. We're probably going to see the most of the drivers bring the car on track and never go back to the pits.
55-4
so
first lap.
It's going to be tricky also for this because they have to keep the tire alive as well. We see the lap of Kalkov was
pole time. I'm calling 53.8.
A little bit of struggling, especially into the exit of the corners. The steering wheel was a lot of corrections. He had a little bit of nervous front. Let's see if he put together everything. So
Predator's putting a very quick time out of the blocks, you know.
Did a very excellent first lap.
Everson 54.7. Dang.
Everson now back on the top. We are following Nico Vianic that does a very, very quick first sector. The Mustang seems pretty precise, and let's see.
You can see the Mustang's nose dropping as soon as he hits the brakes, bro.
You see the top of the car going on little very close to the asphalt. Beautiful to see. Very aggressive on the braking, a little bit of sparkles. Let's see the second sector, but it looks very clean. It looks very quick, so probably could be a purple one. Let's see what happens.
Indeed, we'll see what Nico.
The Lambo is probably going to be rapid through the middle
quite a lot
sector, I
over
think.
in the F1 scene. I think mainly on F124. Departed that game. I don't blame him, and now sits over on the endurance side of things. So a very good first.
Darkin didn't do much practice, bro.
Sector 2, he's a 2.5 tenths down though, so has lost that time and probably. Well, I think can still get P2 here as it currently stands, but of course, still one final sector to go. The top two at the moment, it's going to be Lawrence Everson and Kieran Prendergast at the top, 6 tenths between the two. Then there's a big gap back to Hannah in third. That's around another 7 tenths on top.
Right, this should stop. We should start seeing the time come down now.
See what Nico Viani can do, because this could easily be
54-1
to second place as Kalkov goes quickest by 6 tenths of a second, a 154.146. Let's see what Viani can do as he heads his way up to the line. He goes up into
second
third,
off.
around a second off.
Minar half a second off.
P2 and takes that provisional front row spot.
Here comes
Something's
Whitehead.
telling me here, Andrea, these times are going to keep going down and down and down. By the
Whitehead
end of the
2
session,
tenths
we
off.
don't have a clue who's going to be that top 5.
Of course they are, probably, because the car is going to be improving a lot, lap by lap, and we will see about it. But I
There goes Everson again.
A little bit on Viani lap. He lost a lot of time in third sector. Probably is
53.8.
the most difficult one, because you have 3 corners.
Okay,
three
relax.
right-hander. Step by step, the tire.
Relax, bro, relax.
Overheated, and you lost grip. You lose grip. Carrying on the speed is gonna be more difficult. So probably this kind of laps is gonna destroy also the tire. They have to focus a little bit also to managing, because as you said, the track is going to improve. Everything is going to be better on the last minutes of the qualifying.
Drop to Will
so
in the gravel.
They don't have to exaggerate, and the tower is gonna change a lot from here to the final laps.
Certainly, as Everson goes back to the top of the timings, the first driver in the 153s with a 153.843. We can
Told you, man, lap times are crazy.
42 thousandths on that.
Yeah, Whitehead's in a Lamborghini,
Sector
bro.
one, of course, still got 2 sectors to go on this lap in the Lamborghini as he makes his way in towards turn number 10. A couple of cars ahead of him, and hopefully they don't get in the way as he makes his way all through turn 10, a very long left-hander through to turn 11. And then, of course, you have the final couple of corners to go.
Half a
Luke
second off in the
Whitehead
middle.
Definitely not his best middle sector. And, of course,
Yeah,
there's
he's cooked.
6 tenths there, so that's not going to be enough at the moment to improve on that P3s. We did see as well Sam Gaskell go up into the top 4 in the Mercedes.
Yeah, front engine cars, bro. They're cooked. I can't lie.
That is going to be Prendergast again, moving back up into the top 5, around half a second off.
Prender's up there.
154.3. As we see Barriere as well go up into P7, just over a second away from that top time of Everson, who is yet to be beat here in this qualifying.
Am I going to be spot on with this lap time, or is someone going to go quicker?
Big shame there for Whitehead. Stays in third, as we do see Bonacorsi go up into P6, around 7 tenths off. Things are changing very quickly here, and with about a minute and a half until you can start your next lap. If you make a mistake now, it's best probably to lift off and just go for that one last lap.
I think that's exactly what Whitehead did, because the last sector was pretty high on time, so probably just decided to lift up to put a little
he's
bit,
catching Kalkov though.
Rest and focus on.
He's giving himself more space.
He knew that because of the second sector, didn't have. He's never gonna beat his best, and yeah, Bonacorsi as well. I say for now probably the first of the Italian Patrol, 6th place for him. That's not pretty bad, but I'm truly impressed about the lap that he did, Everson. The only one right now to go on 53, so a brilliant performance. And
oh, it's close.
It's gonna be tough for the.
Brenner's got to send it in this last
close,
sector, bro.
Because 3 tenths, it's pretty amazing, because he did lap I think 3 or 4 minutes ago. So the track evolution didn't mark a big difference to his.
No gravel, no gravel.
Fibers. So now we're following
no gravel.
He's actually doing a pretty much good lap.
Right.
Probably
he should be front row, bro.
Gonna have a little bit of toe as well from the car ahead. Maybe can make the jump. Let's see what happens.
Indeed. So Prendergast there after the first 2 sectors are down by 20 thousandths. Can he go and take that provisional pole as he heads his way up to the line? What will it be here for Prendergast? And
Choose
it will
front row.
P2. It's 2
Whitehead's
seconds away, so just
done.
into the 153. It's a great lap, but still nobody can get close to Everson, as we see Kalkov there pulling off to the side. I think that will be his final lap done in this session for the GT3s, as we did see further back there. I think Viani move up into P10 as Marcelo Bonacorsi will head into the pit lane and end his qualifying session. As we see here, Alexander Hanna in 8th currently. He's down by a
Lamo looking super strong, bro.
By another 3.5 in sector 2, but of course.
Yeah, I know. I seen that. Brendan was having to hold on to it, but front row, bro.
Lap, which is 8.5 tenths off at the moment. To see now makes his way up towards the line. What will it be here for Hanna? Did he improve on his lap time? No. Stays in 8th fastest and will not go another position higher. Nico Viani, bit of a poor first sector there, 2 tenths off away from the lap time. Everson, he runs wide there, and that certainly cost his lap time. And that was probably the end of his qualifying. I don't think here anybody is going to beat Lawrence Everson.
Bro, I got it spot on. 53.8. Come on.
Actually over, to be honest. So there's an amazing performance by Everson. He did the lap very, very early, and no.
I told you that guy was fast.
Pendergast was close, but he probably made the difference. Everson in the 3rd sector, because they were almost on the same lap time at the end of the second one, but he did a fantastic job on the last sector. Probably very, very quick on the last corner. He was able to carry on so much speed on the final straight, and he got the pole. Absolutely deserved it. It was amazing to see that.
You're saying you're taking it back. You're not selling him, bro.
And Kalfos aren't that far. Whitehead as well is probably, I think, is going to be much closer in race compared to the qualifying.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think the race is certainly going to be close.
Bro.
But, I mean, to be fair, the gaps are probably smaller than I would have
Gaskell's done a good job to be within half a second, bro.
By less than 1.2 seconds, with Lee in 12th. Looking further down, you've got 2.5 seconds separating everybody, but I don't think Scalvini quite got the lap in that he would have wanted to. And then, of course, Porkham and King, no laps set for them. So, in around a minute's time, I believe, no, in 2 minutes' time, we'll see the hypercar drivers head their way
Hypercars. Who we got for pole?
Track, or at least head their way to the end of the fast lane.
That's going to be probably even tougher.
Qualifying session, and of course, yet again, a lot of big names in the hypercar category, and normally the more popular category isn't it the hypercar. I don't know why, but is it because it's a quicker car? Everyone just seems to be more happy with being in the quicker vehicle. I mean,
you did do
at the car wise, it seems a lot less competitive. Competitive in terms of the sort of.
Is that what happened?
There's only like one main car, that's Aston Martin. Everybody else, I presume, is just picking cars that they enjoy driving rather than cars.
You're racing it, right?
Yeah, probably it's going to be interesting and important to see how drivers adapt to the car. So most of them, as you said correctly, are going to the Aston because it looks like he's one of the best cars right now in the game. But probably who chose the Peugeot, who chose the Ferrari, like Yamulo, because it's a very bold choice, because Ferrari doesn't look pretty quick at the moment. But maybe he has a better feeling, as you said, and he, considering that is a pretty long race. 2 hours of racing in Qatar is not easy, and the World Championship has a tricky circuit. So
a little bit.
Probably they put feeling over performance, and let's see if this pay off.
Indeed, and of course, looking at our hypercar category, I've kind of jotted down a few drivers I think we should keep an eye on. One of them isn't here, I believe, and that would be Jurnej Simoncic, of course.
Oh, what?
Very
Jurnej's not here.
Driver in the esports scene over in iRacing, LMU, ACC. A driver that everybody
commentator said he wasn't here.
Looking through as well, of course,
even the server.
Aidan Walsingham, of course, another driver everybody should know. He's taken part in the VCO ERL Championship. He was P2 in the 24 Ferrari Series. Also won Championship in the Porsche Cup as well.
Okay, cool.
Very, very quick driver. He's going to be one we expect a lot from tonight. A driver that I know, just because of the F1 scene, we got Daniele Farinelli. He was very quick in PSGL and WOR, which I'm sure many of our channels know about. Yet again, a driver that's transitioned from F1 into a
Grigoletto and Imulu are normally very fast over one lap.
The famous Twitch streamers in the scene. Expecting a lot from him as well tonight. He's driving in the Ferrari.
Yeah, lots of Valkyries, of course.
Bit of a fun fact, we have Ethan Faulkner, who actually is a real-life driver. Drives in the British Sprints Championship, so we'll see if any of that real-life skill can move over into the sim.
I'm always curious about the real drivers going to the sim, because racing driver is pretty much different about sensations. You know, when you drive a car, a go-kart, I always was a former driver, so for me, for example, it's pretty difficult to put myself on a good performance on a sim, because I miss the feeling on the legs, on the buttocks, all the part that you feel the car, if you feel the car on reality, of course you don't have it here. So you have to adapt your brain. You have to react more on the input
What's
that
this
you
livery
receive
saying?
from the steering wheel, of course, and the pedals. It's a different kind of reaction time, and it's interesting to see if a real
they
driver
don't
can
care.
adapt quickly. Of course,
Yeah.
there is
These
some
men don't care about
competition,
liveries,
they're
bro.
Phenomenal bottom sim and real, and yeah, they're just monsters. Nothing can do about it. But it's curious to me to see if he's gonna be quick also on Le Mans Ultimate.
Of course, and I'm keen to see in the chat as well, guys. We've got 120 people in here tonight. Let us know who you're
Danielle
rooting on,
Farinelli.
whether it's a driver or a team, because I've seen
Rigoletto.
Tatum, Let's Go STC. I saw Pranav earlier on about VSR.
What are them lot in the Alpine?
Supporting and rooting.
They're not driving the
tonight, because
Alpine.
there's drivers from many different teams. Of course, we've got some privateers as well.
Interesting.
Who currently aren't in a team. I remember seeing in the About Me section that Aidan Walsingham said he's not in a team, but he's looking for offers. So maybe if you can scout him out tonight, you could get him in your team. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, we have got our cars out on track. We've got Fabio Grigoletto at the moment in the 96. And of course, one thing we was discussing earlier on, Andrea, is that the Tatum cars are all in 96.
Yeah, the whole team's in Alpine.
69. So that's going to be a bit of a tricky one to work out, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. To be honest, being one of the race engineer of the team, I kind of get used to it. But on the first eye, you have to be pretty focused to recognize the car. Of course, there's an interesting reason. Of course, Amos, the founder, the team founder, is a big fan of Nicky Hayden. So probably the reference is for that, and it's a very beautiful thing. But yeah, it gives a little bit of our time to ourselves.
I like these Ox livery, man. They got a
we're
nice
going to
livery.
get used to it. I'm pretty sure about it. So let's see Fabio starting this lap, and I'm pretty curious about what will be.
Is there a Cadillac? I didn't see.
Time on this track with this kind of hypercar. Let's see, corner one, pretty sharp, to be honest. Not huge correction. It didn't seem absolutely at 100%. He's probably searching the limit step by step, as well as they did in GT3.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Qatar, from
I
what
think
know,
this
is
track
the
is
that everybody
fun
goes, oh, yes,
in a
Qatar,
hypercar, man.
Let's go and race there. Most drivers probably don't spend time racing here, so I think that's why we're probably going to see bigger gaps here than we would at maybe Silverstone or Spa. Tracks which drivers more, are more used to going to and driving around. So I'm sure that's the reason why tonight we are probably going to have some bigger gaps.
Yes, this is live on Twitch.
25.728 for Grigoletto.
If you want to go and watch the actual
and of course, still a couple of
Tatum Restec live on Twitch right
a
now.
lot quicker than the GT3. So if you're thinking, oh, why was he 5 seconds quicker in the first sector? That's because he's in a hypercar, completely different class. Very quick cars, which I've still not been able to master to drive at all. I don't touch them on LMU because
Yeah, the gravel chaps do your head in, but that's why it's such a difficult track, because you have to be like fully accurate, man.
9.22. And of course, it's at the moment purple and purple. We'll have to see where everybody else can jump up.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, brother.
Fabio Grigoletto as we head our way through to turn 16, the final corner on this lap here.
So, Maris, you said you got Marocek for pole.
You head up to over 200.
I don't know, man. I'm feeling like Imulu or Grigoletto might get it.
First lap of the session, it's a 138.455 for everybody else to chase.
Of course, it's not a very quick lap. Probably, as I said, is searching the limit step by step. Probably going to improve pretty quickly. So for Nelly, of course, 38.1. I'm pretty curious about to see which will be the target of the session and how much they will be far compared to the pre-qualifying, to be honest. But in pre-qualifying, probably
I've never heard of this guy before.
Because you don't have to be stressed like in qualified. You have very poor minutes to get the lap on. So how much they're gonna be slower than
invalid
pre-qualifying? So we
invalid.
see have a bit of a correction. I don't know if he got the lap invalidated.
You got Grigoletto for pole.
Probably,
yeah, I got a feeling Grigoletto might take it,
of course,
bro.
I guess he's gonna have lost a couple of tenths. Not sure about it.
Man, like De Buono. Jeez.
Let's see the second sector. Not exactly the lap he wanted in his mind. Probably he's gonna lift up. Maybe if the distance is too much bigger. You can see pretty nervous. Is Aston Martin. As you see, the Alpine very sharp on the driven section on sector 2.
I know that Alpine's got a very good front end as well.
Indeed, and of course, looking at the timings, it's the 138.141, which currently sits at the top, and that's with De Buono. Second is Grigoletto, and third is Simoncic, who I didn't think was here. Never mind. It turns out he did make an appearance. He must have just joined a little bit later after I checked through.
Imulu's the only guy in the Ferrari,
Walsingham and then
I think.
Rodchek in P5. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. I'm not the best when it comes
I
to
think the
pony
Cadillac
names,
sounds
so
the best,
to
bro.
David, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Looking through the rest of the laps, we have Riello, Di Giacomi, we have Faronelli, who jumped up to P7, Trischiani, and then Zanobini, the top 10 as it currently stands, of course. With 4 minutes to go, not a lot of time to set your laps on the board, as Walsingham goes up into P2.
He's an Alpine as well.
Away from De Buono and Trischiani up into the top 5.
Man just got the
82 cents.
pretty much the plain white livery, boy.
8 cents. It's like a breath.
It's not even
probably
that, is
question. Yeah, it's
no,
probably
it's
questioning himself, where the hell did I lost it? It's 4 minutes for him to catch the bonus time. It's not over yet, but yeah.
I like De Buono right now.
They're surprising us because they're pretty much closer. The first two, of course, Grigoletto probably could improve a little bit as well. And I expect Faulkner, Adamo, and Yamulov to put some good laps. So probably they're waiting since the very last moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I expect a lot here from De Buono.
Yeah, I'm expecting more from Imolu, bro.
A decent gap between, well, not much of a decent gap. There's
I need to see more
between second and third, though, of course. Between Walsingham.
Yeah,
and,
I think it will be
Rigoletto.
37s, bro.
We see here Dario Iamullo on track at the moment, 16th, so no lap time set at the moment in his Ferrari. One of the only Ferraris on the grid. Something tells me it's probably not the most competitive car, as Dario's down by a 10th on De Buono in Sector 1, so a decent first sector to open things up here for Iamullo.
You've got to be so accurate at this track.
You're probably looking at maybe one more lap, maybe two at a push, depending if you lift off the current flying lap. So we'll see what Iamullo can do in Sector 2 as he makes his way through. And of course, I expect these hypercars probably aren't the best around this track, because this track's made more for motorbikes, isn't it, rather than race cars?
What are you talking about?
Exactly, long love
High
story
downforce
between,
machines,
the
mate.
circuit and MotoGP, of course. I have good memories, of course, as an Italian, and it's been a pretty good, decent territory for ourselves, especially for the teams. And
What did he say? What did he say?
I think we're gonna speak later, because look at what a second sector put Yamul on his 51 Ferrari. Amazing. A
he
little bit
made a
nervous,
mistake.
probably touched some gravel out the outside of the corner. See, you have to
Made a
probably
mistake,
correct a little bit,
brother.
Probably lost a couple of tenths, but I don't know. If
Yeah, it is a MotoGP track, but to say it doesn't suit these cars,
his car probably
it might not suit it for racing, but
not sure about
for actually driving
the
around.
snap was pretty big.
Ooh, and I don't think it will be, no. It's going to be a what was that, a 140, I believe it was in the end. See where that puts him up on the timing boards, and I think it might have even been invalidated there. That Mullo, not good at all for him. He won't be happy with that one. And
Look, he's got bare traffic now.
Over again with 1.5 minutes to go in the session as Grigoletto.
He might have cooked it, I can't lie.
Still in third, I believe he'll be on a lap as well. As we can.
There's no way that De Buono time, first lap, is going to stay.
Way through Sector 2 now, 84 thousandths down in Sector 1, so not a bad first sector. But of course, Sector 2 and Sector 3, he needs to find a lot
Marocek's
more.
up.
Marocek here is up by 40 thousandths in Sector 1, so he's looking very strong on this lap as we have 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, so you haven't got long to get around and get your final lap in. We could have a right battle for pole here, couldn't we?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. 1 minute remaining. I think at least 5 drivers can snatch the pole position. Of course, the first sector is not very important because
that looked good. It looked good.
Mostly
it's
the
actually
same.
Down.
You have to be very, very clear, precise during the second sector, and the difference is literally all in turn 15 and turn 16. If you arrive on that corner with the car able to do it without having a huge understeer, you make
he's
it.
definitely lost time in this last sector, bro.
Lost a couple of tenths on the middle sector.
De Buono got a bit quicker.
If he has a good out down the 16th corner, maybe.
Yeah, De Buono went a bit quicker.
He's Aston Martin on P5. Yellow flag out, but it's not going to concern him.
Oh, look to the line. Where will it be?
4
It'll be
tenths
P4
off. Dang.
Marocek. They're a very nice lap indeed. As Muller, where can he go? Up into the top 10, goes 8. As we did see as well, De Buono extend that gap by around 15 thousandths of a second.
De Buono doing up bits, bro.
38.126. and brings that gap up to nearly a tenth between himself.
I'm genuinely
and
surprised.
Walsingham. We look further down as well. Simončić up into the top 5 in the Aston Martin, and Marco De Buono is up by a 10.
Yo, man's
Sector
cooking
1.
these
This could be
lot.
a brilliant lap for him to end off this session. Has improved once and could be looking to improve again. Currently on the so shy of getting into the 137. Sorry, the 138 zeros potentially here.
Yo,
if
De
this
Buono
final lap
has
goes
turned
well
up,
for him.
bruv.
What about sector 2? What will it be here for De Buono? Has he improved on his previous sector 2? No, he's lost a tenth and a half. So probably he's around 20 thousandths down in total here on this lap. So still has a final sector to go. And of course, with Walsingham and Grigoletto being
Yeah,
very
he's
quick
looking
so
good in the
far
last sector, I can't
qualifying.
lie.
They could certainly try and cause a scare here at the end of things. As, oh, that's a big
You spoke
up
too
over the
soon,
curve,
brother.
and probably the last lap there for De Buono. He will not improve on that 138.126. And my question is Aidan Walsingham on a lap? Because we haven't seen him for quite a while, so I'm not sure if he's
Walsingham's
on a lap
up.
at the moment. He is. He's up by 20.
He's got somebody in front of him now.
In sector 1, of course, 2 sectors to go for him, but he's down by 73 in sector 2. He's got a couple corners to go. Up, have a battle for pole.
Yes, very close. Maybe
He's sending it. He's sending it.
Sector 3, of course, the little bit of tension lost in the central sector is not going to help him.
Oh my God, bro! It happens to everybody.
Over the curb as well, De Buono did, and I don't know if probably it's gonna not gonna be enough.
Bro, it happens to absolutely everybody.
He's up. He's over. He's over. De Buono looked like he's
the race is an
ahead
hour.
of Walsingham,
1 hour.
Of course, I don't know if anyone else maybe can make the lap, but looks very promising for Walsingham. Giacomi spins out of the last corner.
Indeed, not good there for Di Giacomi. We have Pietro Longo here, who's, I believe, left it up.
I'm so surprised, bro.
Seconds down.
Buono, you know.
Sector 1. So it seems that is the end of things here in qualifying.
Man, like.
Hypercars, De Buono is on pole by just less than a tenth to Aidan Walsingham in second place, Grigoletto in third, Mrocek fourth, and then Simončić rounding out the top 5.
Boy.
A very close session, and I think even though
Alpine's looking
the gap
strong
between the top 12 is still the same as it was for the GT3s, the top 10 looks a lot closer.
Exactly, especially the first reposition. I'm pretty sure Grigoletto probably could improve a little bit this time. Mrocek as well. And I'm pretty surprised about maybe Farinelli Adamo could be a little bit closer to the leading pack. So I think the race is going to be very, very exciting because I didn't expect such a few cents of a gap between P1 and P2, but also Grigoletto, Mrocek,
Interesting.
Falkland are all drivers that can compete for the win. It's going to be a very, very tough race. 2 hours, everything can happen, and I think strategy and lapping is going to be crucial for the race to be decided.
Certainly, and very shortly we'll head into the race here. Of course, it's a 1 hour race around the Losail International Circuit. From what I've heard, you can make it to the end without a pit stop, so they're not mandatory. It just depends how good you are at your lift and coast, of course, Lyco for short. If you're not very good at that, you might have to pit, which is definitely a bit of a race ender, but if you can do Lyco very well, you can probably make it to the end without a pit stop, so we'll have to see.
Apparently, you can make it to the end without
probably
pitting.
around, I'd say the 40th minute mark, that's when we'll see if drivers have
4
to
laps.
pit or if they can
That's what they're
continue
saying.
to the end. Of course, the top 3 in each category
said
we have
that?
in the hypercars.
That's what the commentator
Buono,
said.
Walsingham and
Apparently they can make it to them without pitting.
No, never mind, we get
Don't
our
think?
own little grid graphic. So it's Marco De Buono on
think so,
pole ahead of Aidan Walsingham in second place. That's the front row. Then we have on
See
the
people
second
doing
row, Fabio
Lyco,
Grigoletto
then
and
you
David Mrocek in fourth.
Yeah.
P5, it's Jurne Simončić
Right, good luck, good
alongside
luck.
Ethan Faulkner.
Cheers, bro.
Then on the 4th row of the field, P7, it's going to be Alessio Trisciani, and 8th, it's Dario Iamullo.
I know, bro.
The top 10 in the hypercar category will be Francesco Riello and Eduardo Di Giacomi, and I think
Fix
we
your
might not be
frame
able to
rate,
see much
lads.
more
Come
of
on.
the grid because we have got to get underway with racing soon. As we see Farinelli and Adamu there, the top 12 on the grid. Of course, it's not long to go until we head our way into the first race of this 6-race season here around
Looks a bit
the
laggy,
Losail International Circuit. It's a very short formation lap to get things underway. Of course, the GT3s will be a little bit further back for now. And of course, they'll get started just after the
Walsingham taking on the Italian wall.
Course, it's a very crucial opening corner. The last thing you want to do is go for some heroics.
Bro, why is their thing so laggy,
ruin your
bro?
race before it even gets started. As you can see there, the cars 2 by 2, single file down towards turn 1. It's De Buono and Walsingham who lead the way as we wait for the green flag. It's a
Jeez,
long way to
oi.
go.
Emulu's
Here
got a
for
great
the first
start,
round
bro.
of the Tatum Tech Championship 2026. It's nearly 3 wide as we make our way down towards one. Grigoletto has had a great jump.
What, bro? What are you doing?
Lead. A slight bit of contact there into turn 1, and who will get ahead? As we make our
Walsingham's
way through
going in the
turn number
gravel.
2, it's still 3 wide. Somebody has to eventually make way. It's Grigoletto
Jeez.
from third who takes the lead.
What, Grigoletto's leading?
Start from Grigoletto, but takes the lead, but there's been another contact between Walsingham and De Buono, was lost another position, is very aggressive. The Italian driver has lost a couple of positions, is probably a little bit nervous. He didn't have the start that he wanted, and
Yeah,
now
Grigoletto's gone, bro.
got eaten alive by the group. It's going to be a very,
He's
very
gone,
difficult
bro.
first lap for him.
In there we can see Walsingham
Yeah, Walsingham gave them man the elbows, bro. You're not going to bully me. You're not going to bully me. De Buono's being cooked.
Iamolo, what a start from 8th up into P5, and then we go to the GT3 category, who are now making their way through Sector 1. And Everson still has that lead off the start. Prendergast in second and Kalkop in third. We can see Whitehead as well and Gaskell rounding off the top 5. A very, very close battle
Brenner's
there with
cooking
the
right now,
GT3.
second position.
A very chaotic start. Lots of drivers going for moves.
Let's see what these race setups are saying, bro.
Has given Grigoletto a 2.5 second lead before we even finish that opening lap. What a start by the Italian at the front. And looking here in the GT3s, even though Everson was very quick in qualifying, it doesn't seem like Prendergast is letting him get away at all.
Mate, it's lap 1.
Exactly.
Can you relax?
By the way, 3 Lamborghinis in first
Rigoletto's
position,
won.
as we say
Rigoletto's
there,
won,
and,
it's over.
Prendergast is pretty much closer to
I'm telling you,
Everson,
that 3 seconds is not getting made up, bro. He's won.
If Everson go, the race is, I don't want to say it's over, but it's going to be pretty much easier for him. But let's see here in De Buono trying to recover position on Iamolo down to turn 1. Iamolo closed the line. Of course,
3.2, it's over. It's over, bro.
Ferrari still
It's over.
in 5th position. Is in interesting fight.
Grigoletto, round 1 winner.
He has De Buono to recover that from his horrible start. He had a very
De Buono
progressive
dropped
time
down
compared
to
especially
6th.
Rigoletto,
Oh
was
my God.
absolutely inhuman.
Indeed, and you can see that gap now between Grigoletto and Walsingham.
He's sick right now, bro. Yo, Grigoletto is flying. He's flying, bro.
He's around 3/10 back here from Walsingham as they make their way down towards turn number 6. No move on the card just yet here from Locek, as we can see Iamolo as well in P5, 5 seconds back.
Bro, he's got a 4-second gap already.
He is closing in on the back.
What the hell?
Dimončić as we make our way through the middle sector. And then looking as well at the GT3s.
Walsingham is...
And Prendergast still so close together.
I don't know if he's got damage, but he's holding up the whole grid.
Of course, Kalkov now is struggling a little bit, and you can see Whitehead very close to him. Maybe he has a chance
Prender's
to pass him,
on.
but he
Prender's
has to
on
wait
Everson,
because
bro.
Trying an overtake down to the last corner is going to be very, very risky because you have a poor exit. You carry on the slow speed during all the final straight, and you can maybe have a counter attack. So probably now Whitehead is studying his enemy, his rival, and seeing what kind of line he
maybe
has,
maybe
he has the possibility to do the move earlier.
Okay, so he's saying Grigoletto is going for the one stopper, Walsingham's going for the no stopper.
Down to turn 1, but it's going to be difficult because, of course, the braking zone with the GT.
Prentner doesn't think it's possible to do the race without a pit stop.
You have to work very.
Yeah, Walsingham's definitely lifting and coasting. Definitely lifting and coasting, bro.
Mrocek very close to the back. Walsingham very close to the back of Mrocek, who's now taken that second place. What a start for David Mrocek from 5th on the field.
Emulu's off.
To second, there's a big slide there for Iamolo heading through out of turn number 3. It's now side by side here as they make their way towards turn number 5 and 6. It's going to be close here with De Buono as they make their way through. And Iamolo still keeps that P5 spot. De Buono, though, still right behind as they head onto the brakes as they make their way through turn 6 and they head out at the hairpin and then back down towards turn
Whitehead
7.
up into 3rd.
Of course, looking at the front now, Grigoletto, a 5-second gap over everybody. What a start for him. Of course, has been a champion over in VMS, one of the other LMU leagues, Season 2 and Season 3. So even though it's quite mad to have such a big gap so early on, it's not much of a surprise to expect him to be having that gap.
Yeah, Grigoletto is definitely sending it, bro.
These hypercars, you can see here Eduardo Di Giacomi is looking to move forward as well. Probably sits in P8.
Jeez, camera angles, you know.
Pretty taking a look about him, let's see if he can recover the position to his teammate. But I'm pretty impressed about Brioletta. He's absolutely flying in this first stint of the race. As well, we saw earlier an intense fight between Riemulo because he spent a jolly, I would love to say, because he lost completely his car, went on the gravel outside of, I guess was turn 6, and almost lost the car. And
they look like they're getting away from Whitehead at the moment.
They were very, very close to him. He had a brilliant defense, round the inside, and he's managed to get
Gaskell off.
safe, but at the same
Gaskell
time, they
went
lost
off.
a couple of tenths that they're helping the two Aston behind to getting closer. It's going to be an interesting fight between P4
Gaskell
and
had a
P8.
wobble and he went off.
Every one of them is pretty much closer, and it's nothing. It's nothing. You can lose about 3 positions in one corner if you make a mistake. As well, it's interesting the fight here for the top 3 as he Whitehead finally passed on P3 and he's now.
He finally
ahead
got
of
silver
Tatum.
safety
Look
rating.
at it. I think it's gonna be a 3 wide. Let's see what happens.
Ooh, Liddon under pressure.
Very, very close group for the 6th place in GT3.
Personally, as we have here, Thomas Lydon looking to try and make the move down towards turn 1 side by side. A couple of Porsches in the mix as a Mercedes as well. As they heading towards turn number 1, and can Lydon get the move done? It's going to be deep up the inside into turn 1, and I think has actually lost out there. I'm struggling to figure out which car it is. I think Lydon is the green car.
That was
He
close.
has lost out there to 6th place and will drop down to P7, but a bit wide there for the car ahead, and this can give him an opportunity down towards turn 4 to car 45. That's had a bit of an off-track excursion there. But
It's a surprising choice he's not choosing the AMG, to be fair.
Of course, ahead of all this is Sam Gaskell, who's dropped back quite heavily from the back of Valentin Kalkov, but still in a top 5 position, and will be very happy with that, as here we can see Sam Gaskell.
Creighton definitely seems to have the race pace, man.
To sector 2 now. Of course, you can see a couple of cars ahead as well. Lots of Kalkov and Whitehead who are in a second apart. We have then at the front Prendergast and Everson, who have really checked out from 3rd place. As here,
Okay, Walsingham's
Simončić, who's in P3 currently,
dropped back, but he's definitely trying to do the no stop on Walsingham.
He has got that move done and moves up into 3rd, so I'm starting to think here.
I don't mind Cota, bro, but I know most people ain't going to do it because people don't like Cota.
Because he's 7.5 seconds off the lead and was up in P2 at the start.
Like, personally, I don't mind Cota, but I know that every time Cota's on, no one ever does it.
But that wasn't pretty heavy, but the second one probably could have done a little bit of damage on the front splitter of the car. Maybe he has a little bit of understeer, he's struggling with the front, and Simončić see the chance to pass him, and he went in, and he's gaining. So probably Walsingham has.
Yeah, Walsingham is definitely doing a lot of lifting, bro.
Not focused at 100%, but I'm pretty sure probably the front could be.
It seems like he's the only one. These don't need to get the energy up on the telemetry so we can see.
The second was pretty heavier. Let's see if this could be an occasion for Riemulo and Di Buono to recover.
We'll have to see what he can do, but of course needs to do a lot to try and move back through the field. As here we see Riemulo still on the back of Walsingham. Of course you can see that understeer effect in the car of Adam Walsingham, so it's going to be probably an easy move for Riemulo to go ahead and jump up into the top 4.
Yeah, whatever happened to Walsingham's car, bro, it's just not turning in. Marokchek catching Grigoletto slightly, though.
A very poor entry and exit there for Aidan Walsingham in the white car as now.
Let's see if he has a big lift
Look to try and do something potentially down towards
into turn 1.
number 1. Of course, if the time lost to Simončić, the last thing that these drivers want is
Yep, he does. Massive lift.
Marco De Buono looking for the move, but Riemulo goes deep into turn 1 and takes 4th place. A brilliant move, and he's now 1 step away from that podium. And Walsingham another spot down. Next on his list is going to be Marco De Buono, who's certainly going to be looking to move forward and not.
Yeah, Walsingham's playing the long game, but mentally it's so tough, bro. When everyone's just passing you.
Clearly struggling, but nothing less for the move that Riemulo did on turn 1. Very interesting move, because you saw how much quicker the Alpine is on the straight compared to the 51. He was losing speed even with the slipstream. So he did a very brave braking zone into turn 1 to get a position on the inside. Brilliant move, and it's now in P4. He has to push because, of course,
Predator's still under a second to Everson, bro.
But Walsingham is playing now his game, because he had at this lap and maybe the next one to create a little bit of gap to keep him safe from Di Buono. He's a very, very strong first part of the race from the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, this is a tough track to drive behind someone as well.
To get close to Simončić.
Certainly, as we can see there, look at that gap now. It's 10 seconds near enough between
Yep.
P1 and P5. And
You got to be so disciplined
Bono
to
will be all
stick
over
to your
that
strategy,
Vaden
man.
Walsingham once they get round towards turn 1 next time around. We have got 50 minutes left in this race. We have just hit that 10-minute mark in, so around 5-6 to go here around Lassalle. And the gap at the front is over 4 seconds between Rigoletto and Marochet as we head back down towards turn 1. And of course, we saw a great lunge by Iamullo to go ahead into P4. Can Depuano do the same into turn 1? He's got to go for it now. He goes to the inside and makes the move ahead of Aiden Walshingham, who tries to hang it around the outside, but I don't think there's much at all that he can do. As we make our way towards turns 2 and 3, in Walsingham, they're not happy. It gives a bit of a flash of the headlights there to Depuano. But Depuano back up into the top 5 after starting on pole position. A poor start.
I think Grigoletto's starting to save fuel, bro.
With the 5th, and I think next will be, I think it was Alessio Trisciani looking to try and...
Yeah, because he's losing a lot.
The next car on the list of Walsingham, as here we can see Alexander Hanna here in 9th, currently looking to go ahead and move up into 8th place ahead of the Ferrari. And I've noticed as well that gap there between Prendergast and Whitehead has also came down now to 9/10, so potentially Whitehead has found a bit of comfortability and now looking to push forward.
Maybe he's saving a little bit of fuel. Who knows? Probably he has the pace.
We need to see the energy, bro.
Because Iverson and Prendergast, I think, as well, they are not giving 100%, but they are enough to lead away the pack. So, a pretty curious situation. We don't exactly know how much they're pushing, and Whitehead is going to play maybe a dangerous game, because if you let them go too much, it's going to be difficult in the second half of the race to recover time. Let's see what happens to him, because he's an experienced driver. He knows what he's doing, but as well, his rivals are pretty quick today. By the way,
Yeah, the
interesting
top
fight
3
also from the back
getting
of
away.
the leading pack in GT3s, all very close, but the prediction was correct about the cars. Lamborghini for now is the strongest car, and we have 4 brilliant drivers competing for the win today.
Certainly, and just look at that gap there between Grigoletto and Rocek. Down to 2.5 seconds here. The gap was over 5 seconds earlier on.
Yeah, Grigoletto's definitely saving now.
He's got a lot of pace in his car to try.
He's
and
definitely
move forward,
saving now, bro.
potentially look to try and close in and take the lead of the race. As here we can see once again, Aiden Walsingham not in the best times at all. Currently in P7.
How have these not picked up on the fact that Walsingham's clearly saving, bro?
Might even be outside the top 10 by the time this one finishes. Of course, we suspect damage on his car.
Because they're not showing us the energy, we can't even...
We head down towards turn 6 and still being closed in here by Di Giacomi. So they make their way down towards turn 7, and now a few of the GT3s...
these don't need to sort out their frame rate, bro.
Cars, so, of course, they've just got to try and manoeuvre the way around these GT3s. One of them being... Oh, that was close out to contact. We've got a Mercedes, a McLaren, all in the mix here as they make their way through towards turn 10. And, of course...
That was close.
Sometimes, Andrea, is where drivers lose a lot of time, but also, in some occasions, they can gain seconds on the cars ahead. Israel
Predator's got to be careful.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be a very interesting game to play right now. And I have another info for you. Walsingham probably is lifting a lot right now. One insider... An important insider give me this tip. Probably Walsingham is late to come to the end, so that's why he's
some risky stuff.
Position a lot of time. It's going to be interesting to see if his tactics pay off or not. He's struggling, of course, but maybe in the end of the race could be the winning card. Let's see what happens. And now is the crucial part of the race, because during the lapping, he can lift more without losing the match as he lost right now. He lost a lot of time in the previous lap, and I lost, I guess, 4th position. With lapped cars, he can lift more and doesn't need to lose other position, because the GT3 cars slow down the pace. It's going to be a crucial moment for his race.
Yep, using the lap cars to lift and coast is definitely a tactic, bro.
They get dropped to place. I think that was Di Giacomi making the move there. He goes up into 8th and down to 9th there for Ethan Faulkner. Not going to be too happy with that one.
Trenton's got to make sure he stays on the back of stays on the back of Everson in the time where he's getting lapped. Because it's easy to lose the cars in front.
And then also car 44 following through as well in towards turn number 7. And here we have some more side-by-side. Oh dear me, Trisciani didn't know where to go there to get past the Lamborghini, but chose the right path and went to the right-hand side of the car, and has made his way out of that one. So looking at the top 5 here, so Grigoletto leads.
Yeah, I think Brennan just got
5.5
shafted just then.
seconds to Rocek.
Brennan just got
Another 4
shafted.
seconds back to
Look, he
Simoncic.
lost a second.
Another 4 seconds back to Mullo, and then around a second and a half back is De Buono running off the top 5. And then in our LMGT3s, we can see it's Lawrence Everson who leads.
Okay, now they're showing us the energy.
Here in Prendergast, we have Luke Whitehead in 4th.
Brigoletto,
We have
61%.
Kalkov in 4th. Sorry, Whitehead in 3rd. Kalkov in 4th.
Marocek,
and then
38%. What's he
Gaskell
doing?
in the top 5.
Exactly, it's pretty competitive out there, and I'm pretty surprised about the virtual tank. Look at Rosek, how much he has less more than the
Simic,
others, so probably
65%.
completely different strategy for him.
I wanna see how
and
much Walsingham's
he's
got.
gonna fit. He has to fit, of course. The other one are probably saving a little bit. I will love to see the percentage of
Bro,
the other
Simic is
cars,
so good,
running,
bro.
around the P6 to P10. You know exactly where I'm referring to one in particular, but let's see. Top 5, we can see. Rocek, of course, he's on a different strategy.
They use
I'm not
35%
sure they
after
will
15
gonna
minutes.
make it to the end. So probably
No, they have to pit.
them have to.
They have to pit.
Yamalo probably can make a splash. Rocek, of course, have to do the full stop, so he's gonna lose a lot of time.
Indeed, so of course the pit stop strategy will be very interesting here. With 43 minutes to go, and of course some drivers might go to the end, some might go for a splash and dash, and others might have to go for a full blown pit stop here. As you do see Thomas Schleidon in P8 at the moment, still looking to move forward. Of course, we saw him get overtaken earlier on down at turn 1, and looking out to return the favour and go back up into P7. As things stand,
You can visibly see the understeer in the front engine cars, bro.
from Everson to get a nice comfortable gap.
Yeah,
over
Marocek, his race is
Prendergast,
cooked.
and then Luke Whitehead, he's starting to bring that gap down. It's half a second between those two as things stand now. So Luke Whitehead himself could be on for a P2 potentially, depending on if he can make the right move at the right time. Then looking a little bit further back, we have Valentin Kalkov around 2 seconds behind Whitehead. So P4 for him, he's probably covered unless Sam Gaskell has something to give. But I think for now, P3 is probably not on the radar of Valentin Kalkov as we.
Gaskell's doing pretty well, though.
Tomasz Lydon in P8. Of course, a driver that I expected decent this season as we make our way through. In the Mercedes, one of only 3 here, so of course that might be the reason that.
Oh, Lydon's binned it.
All Demi, I've cursed him already, and that's a spin for Tomasz Lydon. I think a little bit too much of the curb there.
Dang.
Yeah, that was the converter curse, to be honest.
And someone else binned it as
you were
well.
Just talking about it, surprised to have a Mercedes. Yeah, probably ran a little bit wider, lost the rear, and suddenly the grip was not there. Half of the spin, lucky that no one going into in, but of course lost at least 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, not good at all there for.
They showed the energy for the.
We see here Sam Gaskell in P5
Showed the energy for the
and
hypers, but not for the
he's
GT3s, man.
very comfortable at the moment, doesn't have to worry too much about P6 here, and I think he's quite happy with where he's at the moment, and isn't worrying too much about what's going on ahead of him with Kalkov. As we were seeing there, the position changes, and the top 3 have all made 2 spots, and Iamolo has made 4. What a start for him, as here we have a right battle, and it is going to be Aidan Walsingham leading this one with
Walsingham is
DG
definitely a
9,
hardcore saving,
and then
bro.
a couple of others as well looking to follow through. And of course, yet again, that could be the reason why we see Walsingham going so slow, not because of any sort of damage, but because going for the Lyco to try and make it to the end without making a pit stop.
Marocek's fuel's got to be right. He's like way faster than everybody else, man.
Rocek is moving closer and closer. And of course, we expect that's just because he's got a lot less fuel than the likes of Fabio Rigoletto.
Yeah, Simoncic has got the strategy down.
Here is Eduardo Di Giacomi looking to move forward now. 8th at the
But
moment,
even so, he
7th.
used 35% after
Great
15
run
minutes.
on Walsingham in towards turn
So
one.
there's
You can
no
see
way
there,
he's getting to the end.
Walsingham breaks early.
Walsingham seems like
Defend that one. So
he's
Walsingham
hardcore
Lyco
saving, so.
pretty much confirmed here.
Just quickly, I have a big and important update about the virtual fuel. That the data that the overlay showed up was not correct, and it's pretty crucial about this race because
Looks like he was right, mate.
Rocek has the exact same percentage of Grigoletto, at least 3 or 4 minutes ago, so is on the same strategy. But Walsingham was I mean, the leading group was on 69%, Walsingham was on 75%, so 100% is
It's
lifting.
not use
There's
65.
a lot of Lyco, and that's
Use
why
35
it's
now.
a pace. Mrozek is on the same strategy, and now probably is pushing a little bit more to get closer to Grigoletto. So it's gonna be.
And I swear they're all streaming. Someone have a look.
At least for the top 5.
Certainly, as we are a third of the way through with this race. 40 minutes to go.
And do you know what I'll do? Do you know what I'll do?
To be decided between
I've got 2 screens. I can use them. Let me utilize.
Mrozek, of course, 3rd and 4th. Well, third
Let me
itself
utilize.
is comfortable at the moment, with Iamullo being 4 seconds away from that 3rd place. But Di Buono has picked up the pace, of course, took pole earlier on in qualifying, dropped back heavily after a poor start, and now is starting to bring in and rein in Dario Iamullo, as that gap is 0.6 as they head down towards turn 1. And we see, look at the gap at the front now. Mrozek has got within a second of Fabio Grigoletto.
Good.
This could be a superb battle for P1 on our hands.
Exactly, it's going to be pretty interesting for Mrozek to try to take the
Everson
lead.
got a 1.3 second gap right now.
To approach the track.
Right, let's have a look.
If the driver in second place can find a hole to put this Aston Martin on P1, it's not going to be easy.
So
Grigoletto had a very strong pace
Prenta
since the start. Probably now he's saving a little bit
has
more.
got
Let's see
maybe
if
a percent and a half more than Everson.
To not allow his
And
to get
Whitehead
too
has
much
half a
close
percent
on the
more
back
than
of his
Prenta.
car.
Indeed, as he has Mrozek, the cap's got
So
back
if
to over a
Prenta's
second,
got to
so
stay
he's
really
third behind
close
that 1 second gap at the moment.
to
As we can see, Luke Whitehead has made the move for second place ahead of Kieran Prendergast, and those two are still having a battle
Prenta just got
side by side for
Prenta just got
P2 here, so it'll be
a
great to see what's going on. Down
a
to
warning out of the last corner, so that means
from Prendergast somewhere, and now
that means that he hasn't got a lot of
and bounce on
cuts
the
left.
opportunity, move up into P2 as they head in towards turn 1. And let's see, has Whitehead got the move done? It seems he has done, unless there's a bit of an up and under here from Prendergast, but no, nothing he can do about
Whitehead's
it.
on
Luke
2
Whitehead has made that move
on warnings as well.
up into second place, but because of this battling, that's allowed Loris Everson there to have a 2.5 second
Everson's starting to look good right now.
Of course, probably they lost a little bit during the fight, but we have to say Whitehead had a very brilliant move down to turn 1. He didn't allow to Prendergast to try the switcheroo outside of the corner and take the place. Now he needs to recover 2.5 seconds. Of course, he can make it. We know how quick it is, but Prendergast...
Everson's looking good. Everson can afford to save fuel, but he's 2% lower than Whitehead right now.
Follow him, because if he tries to give it back to get back to the position, they're going to lose enough time to let Everson go away completely. So probably not a clever option to Prendergast to try to counter-attack Whitehead in this lap, in a few laps, and probably needs to follow him for at least 5-10 minutes to see if they can get.
It's only 3. They only have 3 available. So Prenta's basically on his last warning already.
Indeed,
I
as we
think.
have a 6-10 gap now between the top 2 in the hypercar category.
Whitehead probably has about 3 more warnings left, and then he's cooked.
Traffic, and of course that's what's going to bring that gap down and increase that gap as we go through. The likes of Grigoletto and Mrozek, they've got to get those moves done ahead of the GT3s ASAP. They get held behind, and they both start to lose time, of course, to one another, but also losing time and bringing Jurnej Simoncic ever so closer to that battle for P2. As we can see as well, in the GT3 category, we've got Valentin Kalkov is under a little bit of pressure here from Sam Gaskell.
Oh, Gaskell's all over Kalkov right now.
Between those two, so this could be a great battle for 4th place. Gaskell's really
let's have a look at the fuel.
On the back of the
Kalkov actually has the best fuel.
What is it going to be, a lunge for P4?
He's got 55
no,
still.
Stays back for now and will be happy to concede and keep 5th and just have to try and go for
If I'm Prenta,
whenever the likes of Valentin Kalkov,
I think at this pit stop you got a slightly short fuel, and then you just got to save fuel and block.
Their way through turns 2 and 3. And then it seems as well, up in for P2 in the category as well. I know Whitehead's got the move done, and he's got half a second gap to Prendergast, which isn't a lot. But he seems like one of those drivers where, even though he knows he's not that far away from 3rd, he's still quite comfortable just to lead Prendergast with him.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the key of the race, and at the same time, Gaskell probably is now starting his
Gaskell's doing really well, bro, by the way.
He doesn't want to lose a lot of time, because we saw how time both of the Whitehead and Prendergast lost during the battle. Probably he knows that, and maybe he's putting pressure on Kalkov just to...
I'm surprised he's getting the tires to work.
He doesn't have to make a move. Curious about the race of the Mercedes driver. Pretty curious about it. But for now, he's just getting closer. He's just getting closer. He didn't want to try and attack. Whitehead here is still on a half of a second ahead of Prendergast. Is following quite well, but they didn't recover anything about Iversen. He's improved a little bit.
Yeah, Iverson's having a mega race as well.
Was one and a half second. No, sorry, one. My mistake. 1.5 tenths quicker compared to the white lap times. So for now, Iversen is managing.
Yeah, Iverson's not messing about.
Race. And Gaskell behind the nose, they are not leaving. So probably he's still playing the waiting game. He have 30 minutes.
Let's be honest, bro. If you look, in my opinion, I'm not gonna say absolutely, but
to be honest,
I know what I know, innit? Bro,
for P4 in a hypercar class.
These guys that are competing, if you think you're getting exactly what they have, you're tripping, bro. Especially these guys are actually in esports competing. There's no way they're giving you exactly what they have, bro. No way.
Lack of pace, and of course that just shows again how much traffic can interrupt your race. I mean, tracks like Qatar, it's always difficult because it's so.
Because I remember that's been going on since ACC. Like, it's a lot of esports drivers making the setups, but they're still competing. So what, you think they're gonna give everyone the chance to use exactly what they're using to help beat them? Because otherwise, all the other esports drivers will just buy them. You know?
No, they're catching up to some of the GT3s, and this could get close to contact, and this could certainly be the move that Mrocek has been looking for lap after lap as they go past one of the Mercedes cars next to the Lamborghini.
What's Everson's name? I can't remember. It begins with L.
As they make their way through turn number 10. And then, of
but he's Danish. He's very fast.
Turn 12, 13 and 14. There's never really any opportunity to make a move here. So if Mrocek can get close to Grigoletto by the time they exit turn 16, there could be a great chance for
they had Prendergast
to lose. Sorry, for Mrocek to gain that place and Grigoletto to lose it, as we did see there, one of the GT3s going off the track.
They had
A
Prendergast.
little bit of a big movement, of course, during the lapping of the quicker hypercars car. Look at Simoncic. Come very, very close to the second place now.
Wow, look at Simoncic has caught him already. What the hell?
Very long Aston Martin, catching the lead of Rigoletto. That he had the chance to survive this round of lapping. He was very lucky because Mrocek on that point wasn't enough close, but it was very, very risky for him right now. And behind, I saw Di Buono struggling again. I don't know if he lost the position to Yamulo again, but we're very, very close on the final straight.
Like the thing is, like,
still ahead, but yeah,
with the setup shots, whenever you have to think, whenever there is
had to defend again.
An esports driver making these setups and they still compete, it's literally, it's like a conflict of interest, bro, for them to give you their best setup when they're still competing for competitions. Like, yeah, Prender's getting done, bro. But Whitehead got done as well, look.
For the remainder of this race, we're just about to hit the halfway point.
Everson's got this now.
One of the Tatum Restek Championship.
3.5 seconds.
Through in towards the middle sector now. One of the Lamborghini just slightly in the way will move out. And then we can see the cars making their way through, of course.
The race is for the podium now.
An 8th at the gap to Di Buono. He's looking just to try and stick with him and get that 1 second gap so he can get some slipstream from the car ahead. And then, of course, we can see here Jurnej Simoncic in 3rd currently. And the gaps between
Simoncic closed that gap. I didn't even see it, bro. 1 second it was 3 seconds. The next second I looked up, he was right there.
Cars at the moment in the way.
Exactly now the leading.
I do feel like these are the 3 best hypercar drivers.
I'm asking myself in my mind.
If I'm honest, like,
at the moment, 5 seconds. He have 31 minutes to go. Probably he needs to push a little bit more than the others if you want to stay to the lead. He probably at the same time have to hope that Rigoletto gonna do a little bit of fuel saving again, and maybe he has a chance.
And I know for a fact, ain't no one using safe set. I know what they do.
But
I know what they do. They'll make a setup, do a fast lap time.
He has a chance.
Maybe put the flipping rake down a little bit, add a bit more wing, and say that's a safe setup. They're not driving around doing a setup in an esports setup and then going back out, starting from scratch and building a safe one. They just alter. It's too time consuming, bro. They just alter the esports one a little bit, put the rake down, put a bit more wing. There you go. There's your safe setup.
But now the Aston Martin is gonna
What's my
probably
favourite car this
fulfill
patch?
the mirrors of the 96 car.
Certainly, and of course, this is where
I don't really have a favourite car this patch, man. I feel like this patch just favours mid-engine cars, period. So even if I enjoy driving some of the other cars, I know they're just not quick. You know, it's I don't know. It's hard to say because a car is only good when it's fast. Even if it's nice to drive, if it's not fast, then it's not good, is it?
See what he can do in terms of trying to get onto the podium potentially here.
Prentice gonna get shafted again.
There
we go.
You can see there.
That wasn't too bad.
Involved, but he has
Whitehead might get shafted though.
That gap's back to over a second.
This fast right-hander.
Something's happened there between those.
Yep, Whitehead's getting sent.
Though, this gap
Oh,
starts to fall down towards turn number 1. Rigoletto could be under some pressure here from David Marocek as they head down to the first corner. But I don't think this time around Marocek is looking for the move. No, he stays back for now and is happy just to sit in P2. But of course, we've got 29 minutes to go, and we all know that the race isn't going to be won now. You've still got a long way to go in this one, so it's not always best to...
Who's got the strategy right? Let's have a look to see what the fuel looks like again.
Rigoletto a chance later on to fight back.
Exactly, but at the same time, Rigoletto is the first time that he had to wave on the final straight. So
Kalkov still has more energy than...
And I don't know.
Kalkov has the most energy out of the top 4.
Of course, what you say is pretty reasonable, but I think the driver of the 12
and then
want to take
Whitehead has almost 3% more than Everson now, but Everson's kind of just gone. I don't think it's going to matter.
Madness here in Qatar, and also we can see it's full night. Probably the track is a little
Prentice's got to watch out for Kalkov because he's 1% down on him.
Not much, I think, but let's see if it's gonna be important for the race. But I don't see anymore the one in top 5. What happened?
Well, something's happened there to Di Buono. Was Trisciani has moved up into P5, so something has happened there to Marco Di Buono. Of course, our pole sitter for the first round of the championship. He's now not even in the top 5 here, so we'll be glad to see whereabouts Marco Di Buono has dropped down to. If he's in the pit lane, does that mean he's made a pit stop or has he had an issue? I'm not 100% sure here.
They gave me the information, Nathan. They gave me the information. They did a stop.
Okay, so Di Buono's pitted early.
It's going to be an undercut. So probably he realized that he's not able anymore to get into the finish line. So it's pretty crucial to see how much.
Yeah, that Alpine's rapid down straight.
Ahead he is in terms of strategy compared to the leading group. Yellow flag.
Yep, yellow flag somewhere. Someone's made a mistake or been caught up in a bit of contact, as we can see Riello dropping down the field. Drops down to P10.
Yeah, Everson has been super fast in the stint.
Walsingham and Farinelli. But of course, this is going to be intense now between our top
three.
Man,
like, this should be a good race. Hopefully they don't try and copyright strike me.
Farinelli heading to the pit lane. Could be telling us here that
it's a good watch.
Go to the end, so we'll have to see what happens here between the top 3. I think if one of them goes in, because of the amount of battery they're on or energy, they're all going to have to go into the pit. So this will be
Walsingham is definitely trying the no-stopper. I don't know if he's going to pull it off though.
What happens, of course, Riello is also in the pit lane too. So it's around that halfway point that drivers have chose to make that pit stop in.
Trent has got to get on the back of Whitehead because Whitehead has slightly more energy.
A lot of time to Prendergast, and Gaskell has brought that gap down again as well. So the GT3s are constantly chopping and changing right up at the front of things. Of course, you can see as well the back part of the GT3s. We've got Neil and Lydon very close together, but of course they're nowhere near the leading parts of their pack. They're right at the bottom of things at the moment. As here we can see now, heading in towards turn number 15. Turn 16, we've got Grugaletto and Marocek.
I've got a feeling that Simoncic is going to have more fuel than Marocek, bro.
Simoncic has just dropped back slightly, so I'm not sure if he's gone
Simoncic pitted.
I think he has.
He's pulling the strap. Simoncic is pulling the strap. There we go.
Exactly. This is a crucial moment for the race. Let's see if his undercut is going to work. Trishan as well. His pitting is probably the most important part of this race. And let's see.
Simoncic is pulling the strap.
Right card on his hands. I'm not sure about it. I probably think that the overcut is going to work as well, but we can't be 100% sure about it. And I also have another big update. Probably Riello had the big crash, and I think it's out of the race. I'm not sure he's going to rejoin the track, but of course he had the major damage, so he has to stop.
No, he's not going to talk for him, and that's the last thing you want. First race of the championship and being out.
Will they cover him?
Halfway through. That certainly doesn't give you confidence to continue on.
Simoncic is smart.
See here, Simoncic just came out in P9.
These are got traffic.
Trisciani, who I think will be overtaken there by De Buono. So there we are. De Buono jumps up into P10, and then Trisciani down to P11 here. So very close between these guys.
Yep, look, they got traffic.
Key to see how quickly Simoncic can make his way through any traffic that he gets presented with, and then of course the same at the front for Grigoletto and
Simoncic has got Marocek. This lap alone, bro, I can tell.
Marocek, I could see that from the outboard view. It looked like he had a bit of a slide and had to correct there, and of course has lost him half a second. The key now is do the top two.
They got to cover him. They got to cover him, bro.
Simoncic has.
Don't give him free air. You got to cover him.
One lap overcuts can work sometimes.
Yep.
For Simoncic, that one lap undercut can work in the top two. Heading to the pit lane.
Both points at the same moment. Wow, Marocek recovered a lot during the
great end lap.
What? I'm amazed, to be honest. Also, the Ferrari of Yamolo speeding as well is going to be critical because, of course, they probably gain a little bit.
I reckon Simoncic is going to.
Simoncic will come with cold, with hotter tires. They will have literally block of ice when they rejoin the track, and Simoncic could have a chance about this. Let's see how close Simoncic will be to these two.
This will be interesting as we see now. Making his way out of the turn 15. He has a bit of a mistake and jumps over the curb, and that's lost him time. And of course, that means he's pushing as hard as he can to try.
Yo, he's out early.
Going to that lead and keep.
He is out well early.
Here we can see Fabio Grigoletto making his way out of the pit lane. Marocek is still there.
Bro, Grigoletto's out so early, bro.
Up a little bit more than the likes of Grigoletto. And Ian Mullo has got ahead as well of Marocek.
What did he do?
So things have certainly changed up, and net top five at
the moment.
Did
he change tyres?
Simoncic, De Buono, Ian Mullo, and Marocek.
Did he change left-hand tyres?
This is a disaster. This is a disaster for Marocek. I think he probably did wrong calculations because De Buono,
he must have changed tyres, bro. Must have changed like left-hand sides.
This was far behind the driver of the Aston Martin, so probably I think a miscalculation for the number 12 racer is going to be now a lot of work to do to recover the P2. And
there's no way he made any sort of mistake that will cost him 5 or so seconds, bro.
A comfortable lead of the second, virtual lead, of course, but he have enough time to warm up the tires with no risking everything. So the 96 probably will lead again the race. He did everything perfect.
Certainly, and they just has to keep leading the way, and it's been comfortable for Grigoletto, but of course he's certainly going to face some sort of issues, I'm sure, later on, and pressure as here we see Eduardo Di Giacomi heading to the pit lane from P2.
And is falling back from
second place.
Whitehead.
Our leader at the moment on track is going to be Ethan Faulkner. And with Walsingham still out, I'm starting to think here, is Aidan Walsingham going to the end? I'm not sure because I didn't see how much sort of energy he had in the car or fuel. So this will be interesting. What can he do?
Walsingham has definitely tried a no-stopper, bro, because he dropped back so fast.
It's going to be interesting because if he managed to
man said, who's Kalkov?
Race, Grigoletto have to recover at least, I think, 20 seconds to Walsingham. So it's going to be a crazy final part of the race. Let's see what happens. Walsingham, of course, he had a lot of more.
Never seen Kalkov before. Races all the time, bro.
So maybe he has a chance. 21 minutes. He had to be very, very gentle on the throttle. He had to have the foot of an angel to get on the finish line.
Maybe. I don't know what he's done. I think he's just changed the left-hand side tyres. And he's just going to push for the last stint. That's what I feel like Marocek's done.
Fourth now. Of course, that's probably the net lead, but of course that just depends if the top three are going to head into the pit lane or if they are going to stay out to the end of this race. 21 minutes to go here around Qatar. We are definitely in for a very good finish, a very much of a Grand Slam one here. Simoncic as well. He's got that gap of 1.4 seconds to Grigoletto.
Simoncic definitely seemed as if he had the pace advantage over Grigoletto, but Grigoletto doesn't really make mistakes.
You get to around 2 seconds.
And he's the only guy that I've seen beat these on a regular basis in the hypers, man. If you look at VMS, that's where Grigoletto's won the championship a couple of times now.
Everson still leads, 5 seconds ahead of Whitehead. Prendergast in third, Kalkov fourth, and still Sam Gaskell up in the top 5. So nothing's really changed in the GT3 category. with 20 minutes to go, if they have to pit, surely it's a bit of a splash and dash here for those guys.
Yeah, probably they're all on the same strategy in GT3, and as you said, nothing changed a bit. Probably if they are gonna be quicker a little bit on the stop, maybe can jump 1 or 2
I mean,
positions,
it's
because
kind
they're
of
very, very
close, you know, when you think
especially
about
from
it.
P2 to P4. But
It's
I
like,
don't
obviously,
know. I don't know. Probably
Everson's
if they
got a big
manage to
gap,
have
but
a
the
little
rest of
bit
them
of
are
an
close,
overcut,
man.
might have a chance to, for example, Prendergast go ahead again on Whitehead, and Sam Gaskell as well have to think about it to get longer a little bit to the Lamborghini. I don't know how much fuel they got left in the car.
Philip
but
Menard
it's
got
gonna be probably crucial
23%.
for the position
Yeah, so
for
they're
the
all
podium.
pretty
Whitehead
much
is
on
not
the
gonna
same
recover
fuel load.
Iverson because it probably
Prender's got a little bit less than Whitehead and Kalkov, so he's going to have to...
went on T1 and no one
You're gonna have to nail that pit
saw
stop,
it
bro.
again. He did a fantastic job. He waited for the battle to increase the leadership, and he's managing perfectly. Whitehead as well. He had a very good recovery, right? Not the best.
They're pitting in
qualifying
about
of his
6
career,
laps
of
time.
course, but, good overtakes, good moves. Now he's on P2, and probably it's the best he can get today. Damage limitation, but he has to stay concentrated and manage as well the pit stop if he's gonna be. Because I'm not sure.
VMS is
Probably
on
GT3
Sundays,
cars
bro.
might have a
This is
closer
a
chance
totally
to get
different
into
league.
the finish line compared to the hypercars, but I'm not sure 100%. So if they have to do a splash, a lot of things could change.
VMS is on
If they
Sundays.
stay
This is on
track,
Mondays,
probably,
so
it's
there's still going to be
a
both
mistake of
races,
someone
both
and,
championships.
Standings have a big movement. But Faulkner is pitting right now on hypercar class.
Of course, and that now gives the net lead at the moment to Aidan Walsingham. Of course, whether it stays over or whether it has
Let me
to
see how much energy Walsingham's got left.
That now gives him that lead for the time being, as
If he's streaming, that
De
is.
Bono back up into the top 5 in class, 3 seconds away from the back of Simoncic, and of course, if the top 2 pick, which I expect they might do, that would put him potentially on for a podium, so that'd be great for Marco De Bono. Of course, after making mistakes at the early part of this race, after starting on pole, and then looking here at Philippe Menard in P6 in the LMGT3 category, just on the back of Sam Gaskell, who's on the rear.
Is he even
of
streaming, is the
Valentin
question.
Kalkov. So that battle for P4 here between these 3 certainly is not over. And then I think right at the front of the field, what a race it's been so far for Lawrence Everson, who I don't think is going to get
Not
any
streaming,
pressure at all
great.
from Luke Whitehead, who I think people have got to remember, Luke Whitehead is not just any old racer. He's got a lot of accolades to his name, as of course driven for Ferrari. So Everson will be very happy with this one, as we see now Dario.
Quite a lot of people streaming this, though.
Way through with the car behind closing in very quickly. I think that might be Maracek.
Yeah, I think he's the 12 Aston Martin, so he has to be exactly. His Marocek is trying to recover after the disaster of the pit stop, and now he's behind the 51 Ferrari.
Yeah, Marocek definitely changed tires, man.
Fantastic race, considering that the car he has is probably, I don't want to say one of the slowest on the pack of the Le Mans Ultimate cars, but of course it's not easy to drive as much as the Aston Martin and Alpine, so he's doing a very brilliant job. A pretty good race for him, 6th place right now. Of course it's not going to be easy to stay ahead of Marocek, but nothing to say about his performance. Very good. And
yeah, there's no way Walsingham's keeping that lead, bro.
Gained a lot of position right there, and,
if he doesn't stop.
Doing pretty well. So shout out to him. Let's see if he has 16 minutes to defend. Let's see if he can keep the 6th place.
Indeed, it could be a very long 16 minutes here for Dario Iamolo, especially with traffic ahead. That's certainly not going to help.
Oh, Everson's streaming.
Trying to avoid them all as he makes his way through. Very close to contact there as Marocek as well goes past, and of course he can't afford just to sit behind the GT3s. If Iamolo goes through, he's got to follow him through as well, as that's very close here. As I think one of those cars there.
Poor guy's only got 10 viewers and he's cooking.
As they make their way past him, and there Iamolo has got a bit of free air for the time being, but probably only 30 seconds worth, because I'll catch up to the next group of the GT3 cars, as we can see.
My man must be on triples because he's zoomed all the way in.
We've got Farinelli Faulkner having a battle.
Yo, he zoomed all the way in, Mike.
In the top 6 earlier on, I think. Drops back after the pit stop, and Faulkner, who stayed out a lot longer now, has probably got a bit less fuel, better tyres, and he can try and make his way.
Yeah, the HUD's old now. They've got a new HUD. They definitely need updating.
Even a single point is important for the morale.
But I think it was a third-party guy who made this, I think.
I'm in the battle. I'm there. Probably Faulkner as well has to fix something to get on the leading pack, but it's close. It's critical for him to get at least this point to open the round without the zero. It's mentally is very, very important. Now the 44 cars look very, very faster.
We'll give him a follow anyway,
My
bro.
God, I think a piece of paper were enough to close the gap between the two cars on that point. Right now, Faulkner still stays behind. Fernando is trying everything to keep the position, but his clear is lower.
But I'm convinced now
10-second gap.
Walsingham is going to the end. I can't see any world why he'd want to go and pit now. You wouldn't leave it this late, surely, would you, with only 15 minutes to go? So we could certainly have a battle for the lead on our hands. And look here, as we can see, Faulkner weaving left, weaving right. He's gone to the left-hand side to get the move done and to jump up ahead of Daniele Farinelli into turn one. And he gets the move done. A great move there by Ethan Faulkner in that Visceral Esports livery. And he's now back up into that top 10 after pitting a lot later than everybody else. But I'm looking now at Grigoletto. Look at that gap to Simoncic. It's 7/10. So, battle for third could be on our hands yet again. And we can see one of the Lamborghinis. I think that's Whitehead there potentially in the way. And that's brought now Simoncic right on the back of Fabio Grigoletto. And this is the closest he's been all race to the back of Fabio.
You can't really overtake though. Alpine, I think, is too fast down the straight.
This is a critical moment for Grigoletto because he has to push, because probably, as you said, Walsingham and Zanobini as well probably are not going to pit, or if they have to, it's going to be a disaster for them. But at the same time, as you said, Simoncic is very, very close, and as well there's a lot of GT3 cars in the middle of the way for them. It's going to be a very, very critical lap for the former race leader.
Look at De Bruyne. De Bruyne's caught up.
Position that he had, of course, before the stop. 13 minutes to recover the position, on Walsingham. It's going to be a thrilling finale.
Certainly could be. With 13 minutes to go, you never know what to expect here. As we can see, that gap as well between Grigoletto and Zanobini has came down to a second too. So this is going to be a
11-second gap.
Now.
13 minutes.
Not really
yo.
Sure what's going to happen here with 13
if Walsingham pulls this off, bro,
13 minutes on the clock.
Man's a legend.
And we can see Simoncic, the gap's 4 tenths at the moment, down to 2 tenths. It's closing in, and of course the question is now, how much of a battle does Zanobini give to Grigoletto? Because if he fights hard for that P2, that could make it interesting. But if he doesn't, then it could make it a lot easier for Grigoletto.
Yo, if this guy holds them up,
some pressure.
Walsingham needs this guy to absolutely hold them up right now.
Marco De Buono is within a second here, so we've got 4 cars all within a second for second place.
Amazing. After almost an hour of race, we have no idea what's going to be on top. A beautiful race, a beautiful round.
Don't be flashing him, bro. This is for position. Don't be flashing.
I don't think he's going to battle because he has a lot of less speed.
Yeah, bro. He's dead.
To make a stop at the end of the race is going to be.
Man's flashed him like, get out of my way, like he's not for position. What we doing there?
Walsingham is going to the end. I have now 100% sure it's 25% compared to the 30 of Grigoletto. Probably Walsingham is going to the end, and this
so
is,
Walsingham's got 25% left. Yo, he's pulled a master.
The GT3 cars are almost at the end of the virtual tank, all of them. But the leader of the race, Everson.
Wow, look at the straight line.
Of anyone else,
Damn.
so probably has to be a little bit longer stop, or we have to pit earlier. Is going to be critical for him because Whitehead might have a chance on the very last minute.
Knew
of
that
the
Sam
race.
was coming.
Now, as we saw, Zanobini less than go. He didn't defend very hardly, of course, because he's on a different strategy. Nothing he can do about it. He let pass also De Buono.
All right, now they're going to be sending it a second a lap.
Brilliant moment of,
they need a second a lap at least.
Driver. And now Walsingham has everything in his hand. 9.5 seconds.
Yeah, he did hold him up a little bit
in the last 11 minutes, but 6% less of virtual tank.
Walsingham's done a crazy job, bro. He's only 6% down.
The battle emerging with Iamullo and cars behind as well. If somebody's going slow there, that's one of the BMW hypercars of a league.
He can afford to like really save crazy hard until the gap gets to like 3 seconds. You know what I mean?
A 9-second gap. Are we convinced he can go to the end here, do you think?
But if Walsingham pulls this off, I can't lie, bro.
My bad. Can you repeat, please?
With Walsingham, do you think he can get to the end here, or will he have to go for a pit stop at the end?
I think he can make it to the end, but it's gonna be very, very close, and he have to lift again. So probably his pace is gonna drop off again a little bit, and Grigoletto have a chance to recover.
Pena has to be
about
careful
this.
with
He's gonna
Kalkov
be
that close to him,
very
man.
close. He
Let's
has
have a
to
look at the
manage
energy.
perfectly. Probably he's gonna make it. Probably he's gonna make it. I don't think.
Have a look
he's
at the
gonna
energy.
pit right now because it could be a disaster. Zanobini has
Energy
to pit, of
is
course, 100%. Walsingham
5. Okay, not too bad, not too bad.
But
They're all
you
on
can see
5.
how much he's losing lap by lap. 8 seconds now.
Alexander Lays on 7, 27. Damn.
10 minutes to go. There's a battle
Philip
now,
Minard.
potentially for
Not too bad.
the top 2, but of course it's one of those where if Walsingham gets caught up, there's
They're
no
pitting this
defence,
lap.
it will be a
He's
straight
in this
race.
lap, this guy.
Grigoletto is here. We see a battle with Ian Mullo and David Marocek into turn 1. Marocek on the outside.
Marocek's race is cooked,
He
bro.
can't quite get
Messed
ahead,
up.
and Ian Mullo there, a brilliant defence in that Ferrari as they make their way through out of turns 2 and 3. They have car 11 behind them as well, looking to gain in and make some moves.
I can't believe what Marocek done, bro. Maybe he was on light fuel then. Maybe he was on light fuel,
he's
because
going to have a hard time until the end of this race.
why else would you have a long stop if you didn't have to just refuel more?
To make a mistake, he's got to drive perfectly now. Has Dario Iamullo to get to the end of this one. 9 minutes to go, and look at the gap now between Walsingham and Grigoletto. It's 6.4 seconds.
Wow.
This is looking like there'll be no chance for Walsingham to keep the lead
Yo,
here.
he took like 2 seconds out of him, bro.
Miracle is going to be very, very difficult. And as well, when Grigoletto will be close to him in the last minutes of the race, I don't know how much strength he's going to have to defend, because also we'll have used tires compared to the Grigoletto ones. Yellow flag out. I don't know what happened.
This guy talking about. They've all got used tires, Mike.
Now, probably could have an alliance behind him, because now Marocek has also to defend.
Walsingham's going to have elbows out.
Certainly, and we can see now, Marocek still gaining in. That gap's probably around half a second at the moment, and looking further ahead too. That gap, though, between Walsingham and Grigoletto has increased to 7.5 seconds here, so maybe traffic is starting to have an influence as well, Dimi. That was close there between the Lamborghini and Dario Iamullo.
What were you rating this drive if Walsingham pulls this off, bro?
To go for that move again. He's gaining. Is it enough to make a lunge? He's got to go for the lunge. He does sense it, but it was a bit more of a half-hearted lunge, as we did get blocked out there by the camera. We make our way out of turn 1 and turn 2, and it is side by side. Iamullo just an edge ahead.
Muller's not having none of it, mate.
Through turn 3, and still no way through here for David Marocek, and he's stuck in P6 here. And at the moment, if he can't get ahead of Iamullo, considering it was up in P2 and going for the lead,
bro, he could have been.
This is not the position he would have wanted to be.
Yeah, he should have been fighting for the win, bro.
100% agree with you. Of course, he's gonna be furious at the end of the race. Probably gonna be furious with himself, because all burned with miscalculation about the fuel that he had to add at the pit stop. Maybe, or even worse, we're not sure about it. I didn't saw that. But look at that! Look at that! We speak about it after, because all the leaders of the GT3 class are pitting in the same moment.
They're all in together. That's Whitehead there. Now, who has made the quickest pit stop? This is the game. Who can get in and out first? Of course, the timing will be changing constantly as Vianney takes the lead of the race here with 7 minutes to go. Now, has he got enough to get to the end?
Oh, Prendergast got jumped.
Piling out. And
That's what I thought would happen.
And Prendergast as well in 4th as they make their way out to the pits. What has happened to Everson? Everson's down. Oh no, he's got back up into 3rd. It's changing around. He's back into 2nd. Never mind. He's got out ahead.
Yeah, Everson.
And Loris Everson's
chilling, bro.
got to either hope that Vianney pits or somehow bring 13 seconds down in 6 minutes.
Wait, hold on, because the Ford has crazy energy, bro. Let me look. Oh no, it's 2%, 2%. 2%.
I don't know how much.
Whitehead
so
19.
Even
Kalkov's gone a little bit short
on the car. Absolutely perfect job by the leader. Vianney now he has a chance of a lifetime, but he have to manage.
Yeah, Vianney only got 2%, bro. He's pitting next lap.
Check if I have this info. Oh my goodness, he had a little bit more, but he's gonna be very, very close to the finish line. He needs to do a miracle. I'm not sure he's gonna make it, but if
he's not making it, bro.
Probably the best race in his career. Of course, he has to pit yet. But the question is, he's gonna pit? I think yes. But if he doesn't, first one is crazy. Second one, if he manages to make it, he's an absolute legend. It will be the perfect management. Very, very close. Let's see what happens in GT3. But Everson probably is gonna take the lead again. Oh my goodness.
I think Kalkov is a little bit short, bro.
just
3%
down out of
shorter
nowhere.
than
Sit there
the
thinking,
rest.
Right, you know what? We're at about 10 minutes to go. The GT3s haven't had a look at a pit stop. They'll be fine. All of a sudden, there's 6 or 7 of them in together looking to pit, and Vianney continues on. Of course, he probably will have to pit, but of course we'll see that once he goes in. If not, and he stays out, what a race this could be for Nico Vianney. As we can see here, Kieran.
Yeah, Prendergast got to keep the pressure on, bro.
P5 is looking for the move as Vianney is in, so he will not be finishing the race in first. As now Kalkov has gone wide. This is a big opportunity
Prendergast got him.
Prendergast to go ahead and does get that move done. And now Prendergast is back into those podium spots in the top 3. It's Everson, Whitehead, Prendergast as it stands, unless Kalkov can do something about it and bring it back at the end of the race.
You know what? I generally think that Everson just has the pace.
He's still being cold-blooded after losing the position on the pit, and he managed to recover the podium. But of course, as you say, Kalkov is gonna probably try to counter-attack to probably make pressure on the 3rd place. And I'm pretty much surprised now how much.
I think this is going to be the top 3, bro.
Very, very close to the lead.
Unless something happens.
Is I think 1.5
Here comes
seconds,
the Mulu and Rocha
off to Kalkov, and he lost a lot of time to the pit. And as you see, Everson lost time into the pit because it's now 3 seconds ahead of Whitehead, but was enough to still keep the car ahead. So probably perfect minute for him. And look, the 12th car where he had to move to pass the Lamborghini of Prendergast is going to be a tough fight even for P6 and Hypercar.
Certainly will be, as here's Valentin Kalkov now in 4th. Of course,
Yeah, Kalkov underfueled, bro, for sure.
From Sam Gaskell, who's in 5th currently.
He's underfueled.
Down to 7/10 of a second.
Yo, bigger Prenter, what's happening, man?
There's a yellow flag somewhere on track, and look at that gap now between P1 and P2, between Walsingham and Grigoletto.
Prenter's brought the gap down to Whitehead.
Now, and Simoncic has dropped time. He's a second back, so this battle to the
bro,
end.
if he pulls this off,
this
bro,
is going to be interesting.
If Walsingham pulls this off,
so of course,
crazy
it's gonna be
drive.
Pretty much interesting. Also, about this fight, Trishani had a very, very nice recovery ride, and now he's in P7, very close to Mroshek for P6. It's going to be a disaster for the
will next lap be last lap?
Car number 12.
No, I think there's 2 more laps.
And Yamulo had enough space to breathe a little bit in the last 3 minutes of the race. It's going to be interesting also for 6th, 7th, and 8th place. But let's see what happens also ahead, because Grigoletto is now less than a half second close to the Walsingham leadership. So it's going to be an
it's looking a bit too tight, bro.
Certainly will be, as we can see here. Fabio Grigoletto.
Because Grigoletto's got the pace down the straight, though, isn't he?
Between the top 2 with a couple of laps to go in this race. I don't think there's much at all that Aidan Walsingham can do unless he's just lifting heavily now, just so he can have maybe that one last lap to try and do something to keep Grigoletto behind. Of course,
yeah, no, there's 2 more laps, bro. There's 2 more laps.
Bringing that gap down too. He's going to be there for the taking unless he gets a little bit hostile between.
Yeah, he got to get hostile, bro. I can't lie.
I think this either way will be a story for both drivers, whoever wins this one, and maybe even Simoncic.
I think Prenter got a warning because he went off track, so I feel like he must have been close to his the penalty allocation. Otherwise, he would have got a he would have got a penalty. So I think he had to lift. Oh, Walsingham made a mistake.
Oh, that's a big mistake for Walsingham, and now Grigoletto's very close. But yes, probably it's going to be the penultimate lap, so Walsingham start to resist 2 complete laps ahead of Grigoletto is going to be
you got to park that, mate.
For him. He needs to do a miracle, but look how much grip the Alpine of
we got a good exit.
Driver of Tatum Restek has grip, a lot more grip of the Walsingham, but he had a very good run out of the
you got
turn
to go towards the inside lift and just run it deep on the brakes, bro. Ah, nah, he's cooked.
Fight, but now
he's cooked. He knows. And
also Simoncic probably is going to take the 2nd place as well.
Oh dear me, and I don't think there's any fuel really left in Aidan Walsingham's car, and it will be Grigoletto who takes the lead ahead of Simoncic, who goes into 2nd place. And a big shame there for Walsingham, who will probably drop down to 4th here, but depending on the fuel, could still finish here in the top 5, which would still be great for him as we make our way.
Prenter's catching Whitehead though.
Towards turn 6 and 7 again, and I presume that means there'll be one more lap after this one here.
See, they were very, very close to the 1 minute and 40. So I'm not sure about if is this gonna be a another lap if it's gonna be for a few seconds. But Grigoletto now is in the lead. He has to worry about, of course, Simocic because he's very close. And Di Buono might have a chance, as you say, to get on the podium after a very, very difficult start.
And they're going to do the extra lap.
Mamma mia, I can say it, mamma mia. It's an amazing first round. Grigoletto have to manage in the last few corners. I think they're going to be pretty much close to this with the last lap. I don't know for how many seconds.
I'll have to say it's going to be very
20
close
seconds.
before we get to the end and we can see who's going to be finishing where. And if this is the last
I
lap
think
of the race, we've got 15 seconds to go in this one.
Another lap,
Just
innit?
make our
It's
way
another
to the
lap,
final
bro.
corner. I think we might
Surely.
might just get one last lap here.
That means-
as we head our way up to the line.
Yeah,
Let's
it's another lap.
see. As we cross the line with 3 seconds to go, I presume that means one more lap in this race, doesn't it? It does. One more to go.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Into turn one. Oh my goodness. How brave he was, the driver of the Aston Martin. But Grigoletto didn't fall off for the trick. Amazing defending. But look how aggressive is the driver of the Aston. Is trying everything. That's
Bro, he sent that, bro. Damn.
Has to defend it from another lap on Di Buono. My God, this is gonna be a thrilling finale. Di Buono might have the chance to get the podium at this point.
And we can see here, Simocic is still bringing that gap down to the
Shit.
lead. He's
Oh,
gonna
I thought
have
he was
to
gonna
go
send
for a
it.
move now or never here to get ahead of Fabio Grigoletto. Nearly touching the back bumper of that hypercar now. That gap's down to 2.5 tenths of a second with half a lap to
Simocic
go
is
here
all over him.
in this race. So we can see as well, Walsingham is still holding on to a P3 despite having such a journey through this race to even keep there after dropping back all the way earlier on in this one. De Buono has to make the sends now.
Oh, De Buono's
Oh,
binned
no,
it.
that's a spin. Who's that? That's De Buono. Right, De Buono was spun on the last lap of the race. That could be that P4, possibly gone depending on how
Sad.
quick. We can see Iamolo bring that gap down. But
Yeah,
we look back
Grigoletto's
at the
killed it in
leaders
this last
here
sector.
with a couple more corners to go. And Grigoletto, I don't think has got any pressure at all here from Simocic as they make their way through the final corner. And of course, it was P3 on the grid after qualifying. It was a massive jump at the start to get ahead into the lead. Of course, there was battling all behind. And Grigoletto
Simocic on the brakes is insane.
battles to go through, but he will head up to the line and take the win here.
Wow, what's going on here?
Restek Championship, and 2/10 was the gap at the line.
Yo, what a race.
Coming home in second place. And despite all of that battling and not even knowing if he was going to head into the pit lane, Aidan Walsingham brings home a podium, and for me, that is the drive of the day.
Oh, 7 tenths.
Fantastic job by Walsingham to manage the car till the end. It was a little bit unlucky to the calculation, but he managed to get at least a podium. But what a
His gap's
brilliant,
probably
brilliant
slightly too
battle
big.
between
Oh, Kalkov on
the
1%.
two. He had also to avoid the Mercedes that was slowing down, probably because he was running out of fuel. An amazing, thrilling finale for the
Oh, he overfueled Everson. He took way too much.
Place in GT3. Everson is going to probably win easily this race, but Gaskell might have a chance to get the P4.
Certainly, this is going to be close here between Kalkov and Gaskell as they head through into the final couple of corners. Of course, we'll see Everson shortly cross the line and take the win.
Send it.
And Gaskell here is looking for that last lap.
Oh,
I
he
don't
didn't
think
send
there's
it, bro.
anything he can do here as they head into the final corner. So we'll switch back to the lead.
Oh, bro, this lap.
Pole at the start.
Chee! Eye on the line.
But hang on, there might be a last lap move.
Oh my God.
Gaskell goes into fourth.
Kalkov
Anderson
is
for Kalkov
pissed.
Right at the end. He
Oh
finishes
my
P6
God, bro.
in this one, dear me, what a shameful ending there for Valentin Kalkov. Just a slight
Oh, bro.
misdirection on fuel.
No
Of course, we can
way.
go back to the front, and Lawrence Everson, what a start for him to this championship. Of course, a brilliant qualifying.
Wow.
It was over 2.5 tenths on pole to second place.
That was a
And
very
I don't
interesting
think there's
race.
any pressure whatsoever since we started.
Yep,
this one
underfueled it,
60
man.
minutes ago, and he will take the win and the opening win of the Tatum Restek Championship. Whitehead in second.
Everson, you know.
Reigns at the top three, but of course it's shortly time to
Good
have a
race.
chat with some of our drivers.
What, we trying to hear what the driver's saying or
We're
not?
going to wait probably for the top 3 drivers.
Yeah, I ain't trying to hear all that. No. Wow. Strategy, man. Saving fuel. Bro, saving fuel literally almost decided that race, man. Like, lifting and coasting is such a big part of LMU. It's not even just about pace anymore. Like, lifting and coasting now has become so important, bro. Yeah, he's gonna be mad because he made a mistake. He made the mistake that let Whitehead through, but he was it's difficult in the multi-class races because you really do get split. You get split from your position when the hypercars come through because he was right behind Everson for the most part, and then traffic happened, and then he had the off track, and then that's how Everson ended up with the gap. You know, as soon as the traffic started coming through, that's when the gap started to appear. But that always happens. I've noticed that. That always happens. If you're like a second behind the car in front, and then the hypers come through, you will always lose time because there ends up being a point where you get cars in between you. That's what always happens every single time. You have to be like within like 3-4 tenths for it not to affect one and not the other. But if it's like a second, you always lose out, man. But what a race. What a race. I mean, you got a podium. Podium's still good, man. What I think of Baldwin joining Redline, it makes sense. Particularly they're trying to get into the whole real racing as well. So it's another guy that can cross over into real racing as well if they wanted him to race for him in the real world. So I can kind of see what they're doing here, you know. I mean, Baldwin, they got the Lullum guy, they got a few guys that can cross over from fast in the sim, fast in the real world. So makes sense. Baldwin's a super fast guy as well. He's fast with everything. And he can do it in the real world, so. Yeah. They were flying in the hypers, man. They're building up. Redline are trying to have the whole takeover. But what I will say is, in LMU, the hypers are, bro. There's a lot of strong drivers in the hypers, man. I had a feeling Grigoletto, he's the only guy that I've seen continuously beat like Simicic, Barocek. He's the only person I've seen like continuously beat them, bro. So I had a feeling he was gonna be up there. I was like, De Bono looked really fast, but that start was terrible. Man went from first to sixth. If he would have got away at the front, I think it probably would have been a different story, man. Because on raw pace, it looked like he had an advantage. I think GT or Hypers are more competitive. I think GT is more competitive. In terms of like how many fast people you have in GT3s. Hypers is just as competitive at the front, but the sheer numbers is with GT3. Like if everyone was actually to jump on and do the same championship, the problem at the moment for GT is like not everyone's doing the same championship. You know what I mean? You don't see guys like Osterman until there's like an endurance race or Kaiki Oliveira. You don't see these guys until there's an endurance race. But if they jumped in and did all the championships, it'd be crazy. You know what I mean? We didn't see like Mouse Esports until they did their endurance. We didn't see what's their names? The team that McCormack's with. They did one endurance. You don't see those teams unless there's a big endurance race, but there's like a big championship on the line, like a big esports championship, then I feel like you'd see the difference, basically. Because there's a lot of people that play this game on the low that you don't even see. Like I know Jordan Sherratt's on this game, Tobias Pfeffer's on this game, like guys that are insanely fast, but you don't really see them, you know? Bro, you haven't even said a track. The 17.4 around where? Oh, at Spa. With a decent setup. Yeah, 17.4 is pretty good. They were doing Spa the whole weekend. I think the fastest was it Masoud 17-0, I think. But Masoud bottled a 16 on the last corner. But he was pretty fast. I think I'm just waiting, bro. I'm waiting for the big esports event. That's when I feel like you're gonna see the real, the pinnacle of the lap times, bro. Like we used to get on ACC when SRO came around, bro. Yeah, the lap times just went crazy. That's when you really saw the pace of the cars, bro. Yeah, you're gonna have to grind, bro, for sure. With the Porsche, what was Boothby doing? Boothby was doing. What did Boothby do in the Porsche? You got a mid 17.4 or something in the Porsche, I think. Boothby's really fast in the Porsche now, to be fair. Boothby's got the pace down in the Porsche. I think that was the fastest I saw in the Porsche. At Spa, anyway. Going to be interesting. So when does VMS start? VMS starting next week. Beating him a few times, yeah. Yeah, to be fair, I don't know. Like before, I feel like Boofy was struggling a bit. Over the last week and a bit, where he's starting to understand the game, I feel like he's been quick. That's gonna be interesting. What lap time? 53.8 at Qatar is crazy, bro. When we checked the online times the other day, I think they were doing like 55s, bro. It's like a whole second and a bit quicker. It's crazy. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing, obviously, is you have to make good quality. Like you have to qualify well. That goes without saying. Like you can't do nothing if you don't qualify well, because any strategy you've got is just cooked. If you don't qualify at the front, just forget having a good result, bro. And other than that, obviously it's the consistency and then it's the longevity of your setup. If your setup has a drop off after 40 minutes, bro, then you're just cooked. You need a setup that's fast all the way through. You know. Yeah. You have to like. I know when I'd watch movie, I would notice his driving style was still like ACC, like whereas LMU like is fast to be really smooth. Is fast, you know. It helps with your tires, helps with your braking, everything. Your exits is better to be smooth. And if you look at a lot of his results, last few weeks or so, he's been up there. Even when the Porsche hasn't been fast, he's actually still been up there. And so he's getting the most out of it. So he's definitely, you can tell he's improved a lot. I can tell because now he's like, I was watching his endurance race yesterday at Spa, and he kept up with Masoud and them in the McLaren and the Lambo, and the McLaren and the Lambo are faster than the Porsche at Spa, bro. But he kept up, and he was saving fuel, you know. Yeah, it's that natural adjustment. Some people can just some people just adjust straight away. Like if you look at, for instance, if you look at Masoud's like fast, like on ACC, but he wasn't. I would say, wasn't like. I don't think he was like top 10. He was quick, but wasn't like top 10. On this game, he's rapid. On this game, Masoud is super fast, bro. And I think that's just maybe like driving style or whatever. For whatever reason, this game seems to suit him more. So he's just crazy fast, bro. Yeah, I'm waiting for. Honestly, I'm waiting for McCormack, bro, to jump back on. That guy jumped on for a couple of days, bro. Like last year. Genuinely don't know how this guy is that fast. Genuinely. Yo, Jago, how you doing, bro? McCormack was slapping everyone on a game he doesn't even play. Bro, it's crazy. But you get those one or two guys that are just insanely fast, everything, bro. Did the brothers get banned? What those what was their names? I can't remember their names, bro. So they were cheating for real. It was too sketchy. It was too sketchy. No one knew who they were. Came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? No one had a clue who they were. They came out of nowhere. They're setting insanely fast lap times. And then I remember we watched one of the races back. The guy was like breaking. You know what I mean? Fake accounts, yep. The guy was like breaking. He did it he went off the track on a quali lap, broke, so it didn't invalidate his lap, and still set like a crazy lap time. You're like, what? That's not possible, bro. I can't remember, what were their names again? I can't even remember their names, bro, but it was like, bro, who are these guys? They had the same surname, and they were setting lap times within a couple of thousandths of each other, but they were at the top of the leaderboards. It was like, bro, who are these lot? Nobody had a clue who they were. But they were just the fastest. I feel like there's no surprises anymore. You know what I mean? Like, particularly like at the top end, when you've got a lot of competitive people, you've got a lot of esports drivers that's crossed over from other games, you kind of know who the fastest guys are. And you know who the guys are that are really elite. So when you see them like free temps off these other guys that have never been heard of before, never seen them, it's always like, you know? I said it was me. There must have been two of you then. Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. But people, like, whenever there's anything competitive, people will always cheat. That's the problem. And sim racing is pretty hard, man. In sim racing, it's hard to tell if someone's cheating if you don't know what to look for. You have to rely on the people that are cheating getting greedy. That's what you have to rely on. The fact that they get greedy enough to want to win and be at the top, that's what makes them easy to catch. If they were just to like chill out and say, you know what, let me finish top 6, let me finish top 5 and just have a good race, you'd never catch them. You only catch them because they try to win. And whenever someone's really fast, generally people are gonna look. Like if I go in the lobby, even if I know that someone that's legit, I will go in the lobby, I'll watch their lines, watch their brake application, how they get on the throttle, how much steering input they're having, and then you try and learn something. But if you watch someone who's cheating, you see some anomalies, like, hold on a second, this guy's not trail braking, he's not using all the track, you know what I mean? Like, he's lifting off the throttle in some places that doesn't make any sense, then you know, normally, cheating. That's why for me, it's not really that difficult to tell when someone's cheating, for me personally, because when you watch enough fast people, bro, you know exactly how they get their lap time. Like most of them, they look like they're on it, and you watch someone else just not even using all of the track, and you just think, yeah, this doesn't even look fast, you know. Yeah, ACC, bro. I just don't feel. I don't feel like ACC style of driving really works on LMU, bro, because for the most part on ACC you never really had to worry about tires, so you just sending it, bro. I mean that, like a lot of the time, I can tell you a lot of what these lot do, they're lifting and coasting the whole race. So the race pace you see these guys having, they're literally lifting and coasting the whole race because it saves your tires and obviously it saves the virtual energy. On ACC, you're just sending it, you're slamming on brakes, banging down gears. You got more downforce, so you can push the car through the corner a lot more. You know what I mean? On LMU, like you drive that way, you're just cooking your tires, man. You know what I mean? You like to be fast for the whole stint, you gotta be smooth. Got to be smooth. That's the thing. I've only realized how much these guys lift and coast. And in my head it's like, bro, how are they that fast while lifting and coasting, bro? But it literally helps your tires. If you was to go on and do a maybe a 6-7 lap stint right now and just hammer it, right? Just hammer it every lap for 6-7 laps. And then look at your tire temperatures, and then do another stint. Just lift and coast into the corners a little bit. Your tire temperatures will be lower. You know what I mean? Your lap times will probably be more consistent, and the feeling of the car won't change as much over the race. Keep your tires in. You know, that's how these guys are so fast over the whole stint, man. Yeah, right now, bro, the BMW is cooked, man. Yeah, some people got it down to a science, man. Like the trail breakings is perfect. I remember watching I think even me and Prenter was watching one time, because I remember Prenter was racing Baldwin. I think it was at Sebring. And in the beginning, Prenter was quicker. But Baldwin was so smooth over the whole stint that it was in the rain as well. His tires just lasted, bro. Like his tires just didn't fall off. Like, hold on a second, how's this guy's tires not falling off? And you realize it's just the driving technique. His driving technique was just keeping the tires alive, you know what I mean? You hope the devs nerf the Macca. The Macca's only fastest on tracks that have a long straight, bro. You know? The Macca, nowhere. Qatar. It's only that's the problem right now with the BOP. It's very circuit dependent. Like anything with long straights, Le Mans, Spa, friggin' Monza, the McLaren's gonna be super strong, you know. Anything with a bunch of like fast corners and stuff, then you're looking at like the Porsche. So Kota will probably be like Porsche territory, bro. You know, and then the middle ground is the Lambo. But other than that, nothing else is coming close, bro. But those three cars at any particular track can be dominant. Yeah, but this is the thing though, like that the McLaren at Le Mans, all it's done is just replaced. A couple months before that, the Lambo was doing the same thing. Like the Lambo had the exact same effect at Le Mans, and then they changed something, and now it's the McLaren. So every time we have an update, it just seems as if one OP car gets replaced by another OP car. But if you remember, if you go back a couple of months, everyone chose the Lambo for the Le Mans without the chicane, and it was like it was catching LMP3s down the straight. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like the real issue is this car in particular, that car in particular. The issue is they keep on messing up the BOP in general. Every time they fix one thing, it breaks something else. That's what I see anyway. Yeah, the AMG's nice on TC, bro. It's just it's very hard on tires. That's why I feel like Gaskell did a very good job today because it's pretty hard on tires and it uses a lot of energy. So you have to be really good at saving. You know, really, really good at saving. The bop's just I don't know, man. It's just kind of like all over the place. Like, look, have you noticed we have not seen an Aston since the update, bro? The Aston is cooked. I tried the BMW the other day, bro. Yeah, nah. Nah. It's just like it still feels nice, but it just the race pace just dies on tires, bro. Literally. Dies on tires. The tire model is a difficult one because obviously before this one you had the one that was very, very punishing. Like if you over pushed it, back end would step out, you'd be backwards, right? And that kind of favored the front engine cars because they just have more stability in general. So that sort of pushed people towards, you know, Lexus, Ford, Aston, and you didn't really see people driving the mid engines because they were lethal, you know, they were scary. Now where there's a little bit more allowable slip, and it's more about how much rotation you can get. Now everybody is in the mid-engine cars, Lambo, McLaren, Porsche, and the front-engine cars are kind of dead. So whatever the crossover is, bro, they need to sort of get it in the middle somehow. But then you could also say the same about the hypers, bro. The hypercar bop has been broken from the beginning, if we're being honest. Because you had, what was the fastest in the beginning? You had the BMW that was dominant. Then they nerfed that. And then the Ferrari was just no point picking anything else. The Ferrari was super dominant. And then now it's just like, actually, maybe it's decent now because we had a Alpine at the front. We had an Aston at the front. But then it seems as if like now the Ferrari, the Toyota, now they're kind of pointless. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to get all the cars in one window. I don't know what it's gonna take, bro. Yeah, Aston. It is weird, man. But I always say, like, if we go, let's just check. Let's have a little look. This is like my theory with literally everything, bro. When it comes to bop on any game. I'll use the 2024 because it shows more cars. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 9 cars. If there's 9 cars, half of them should be competitive, bro. That's my theory on BOP. I don't care what you got to do, but you got 9 cars, half of them should be competitive. So at least you get a little bit of variation in the grid. Let's be honest, no one's driving a Corvette, bro. Now, me personally, I feel like the Corvette is the worst car to drive out of all the cars in the LMGT3. It's just something unnatural about that car, bro. It just doesn't feel very nice to drive at all. Bearing in mind, I'm sure that car is supposed to be based off of a Ferrari, no? Something like that. But I just feel like it would just generally feel nicer to drive. And it's just not. It's just not a nice car to drive, bro. Sorry. But yeah, like I said, 9 cars, at least 4 or 5 should be within a tenth of each other. On race pace, man. Yeah, it's hard to drive. It's not the best on tires either. So, what are you really getting out of driving the Corvette? You know? You have the 1 or 2 tracks where it's outstanding, but for the rest, you're literally just, you know what I mean? You're just struggling. You're fighting the car most of the time. But right now, Aston's dead, BMW's dead, Corvette's probably too hard to drive. Ferrari's not doing anything. The Ford, it's got its tracks where it's half decent. Lambo is up there. Lexus is up there around Brazil. Probably still a very good endurance car, but you're gonna struggle in quality to beat these other cars now. And you got the McLaren and the Porsche, so it's literally between these three brands. But the problem is that even though it's between these three brands, a lot of the time it's not at the same track. You know, if it's Le Mans or Monza, then the McLaren is way stronger than the rest. You know, we've seen the Porsche at Portimao way stronger than the rest. So it's like, bro, even though the cars are over a calendar balanced, at each track individually, there's still no balance, bro. So it kind of defeats the... Yeah, BOP just needs work. That's all it is. Even if you go to the hypers now, there's a... We go to 25. No one's really using that Lamborghini anymore anyway. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so from 8 should be 4. Like the Porsche, has the Porsche ever really been a contender? I don't know, man. I just feel like with the big brands like Toyota, Porsche, Ferrari, BMW, you kind of want them to kind of be at the forefront a little bit, you know? Like it must be hard. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. It must be hard to get the bop right, because you know the thing is, if you, let's say you increase the grip of one car by 2%, you know that esports drivers are gonna get the absolute maximum out of it, and that 2% could end up being half a second, and before you know it, one car is 3-4 tenths a lap quicker every lap. You know, that's it must be that difficult, but there has to be a middle ground, but between there has to be a middle ground between the cars, man. Like for instance, let's say they can't make the they struggle to make the balance correct. Then you have to do something like you have to give this car insane tire wear, or very, very good on virtual energy, something where it's actually worth using it. Otherwise, the cars just become dormant. The same thing happened on ACC. You had a lot of cars that they just became dormant because there was no benefit to driving it. Okay, so Porsche had its time. Oh, then this just needs to find that balance, bro. Find that balance. Do you know what? As I said before, do you know what this game is needing? It is needing a hot lap, an online hot lap leaderboards, bro. It needs it. It needs it, bro. Online hot lap leaderboards. It will help with BOP. That's what's needed, bro. Get them online hot lap leaderboards up. Everyone starts banging in times and stuff like that. And before you know it, we'll be able to see the disparity. Let's say, for instance, this is how I would do things, right? I don't know how they would code this, but if I saw a hot lap leaderboards, and let's say the McLaren was clearly the fastest car. The fastest McLaren was about 3 tenths faster than like some of the other cars around that specific track. I would then make sure that the other cars, maybe if the tire wear was 0.0025% better on the other cars, over a stint, it should lead to the other cars coming back towards the McLaren. That's how I would balance it out. Now, obviously, the problem with that is that's only going to be in longer races. So you have to think of a way to fix a different fix for that, for the shorter races or the fixed races. So what I would do is I would just not butcher the McLaren setup, but I would make it so the limit of the car is a lot less in fixed, and I'll just give the other cars a better fixed setup, so we'll bring the cars together a bit. That's literally how I bought the game, bro. Because clearly they're struggling to find a way to balance it, But that's what I would do to balance it. See, that's the thing. Like, this is the unique opportunity that we have in sim racing, is that we don't have to do what like they do in real life, because in real life most things are not perfect. But in sim racing, we have a chance to have leaderboards and do thousands and thousands of practice laps. They can't do that in the real world. So we have a chance to actually balance the cars properly. They don't. They just see like a couple of teams holding back, so they're not like showing their real pace, and you can't do nothing about it. Whereas on here, you put leaderboards up, run a little competition, you know what I mean? Like, everyone will jump on, everyone will be banging out the leaderboards. You will see what is the fastest, and then you can adjust things accordingly, man. Like, it's a lot easier. But I don't know, man. But for the most part right now, I would say front engine cars, just forget about it. There should be a patch and some pop out tomorrow. I hope so. I hope so, man. Let's see, like, because even like, for instance, the BMW, even back in the day when the BMW was super popular, I did not mind it being popular because it was in fixed. In fixed, the BMW was like the most used car. But when it got to open setup, the BMW was not the best car in the game. Everyone thought that it was because everyone used it in fixed. It was just that it had a very good fixed setup. But in open setup, the BMW used to get smoked. So I didn't mind, you know? But we shall see, man. Tomorrow's races look good, though. Tomorrow's races do look good. Yeah, the Ford was crazy. The Ford was crazy for a bit, but I remember when they slowed the Ford down, but it wasn't as slow as what people thought. So in open setup, the Ford was still a beast. But it was more based around longer races because it had way better virtual energy and it was way better on tyres. It was just not as fast and you couldn't heat up the tyres very well. So you couldn't really qualify that well. But over the race distance, it was fast. So again, I don't mind stuff like that, because in the end, it brings it back. But it's because they have all these fixed races and they're trying to balance all that. Like I said, fixed races is, I think that's an easy fix. It has to come down to setup, bro. You can, like, obviously setups can gain you loads of time on this game. You know what I mean? So if you make the right setup, not like saying make it horrible to drive, but you can make a car slower with the setup and then bring it in line with all the other cars. You can make another car, maybe, I don't know, like the Corvette. You could give the Corvette like a nice setup so it feels stable, make it quite quick, you know what I mean? And then you can bring it in line. And before you know it, you can battle. In 20-minute races, you probably don't really have to worry too much about tyre wear, because you can manage that. And that's how you would get the cars balanced for the fixed races. But for the other stuff, the open stuff, that's when we actually need good balancing, good bop. Yeah, Porsche wasn't, I wouldn't say Porsche before this was that strong. Before this update, the Porsche it was alright, but it was very slow on the straights. You couldn't really do nothing. And it used to kill the rear tyres. The Ford's been strong for a while. The Ford was strong. It's nothing special now. The Ford's decent, but it's very much based around, for the Ford to get the best out of the Ford, you need a race that's longer than an hour. You need something where you really have to save fuel. And for all the other cars, it's very marginal. And that's when the Ford becomes a threat. Because like today's race, if you've seen, the guy in the Ford did the extra lap, did one more lap than everybody else. You know what I mean? So that's the strength of the Ford. But if it's a race where everyone has to pit, yeah, the Ford's cooked. Yeah, it's weird, man. I remember when the Ferrari, there was a see when that update came out when it was like proper sketchy to drive. Like if you pushed it, you'd spin. People don't know that the Ferrari was super strong then, but people didn't know it because no one really uses it. But the Ferrari was crazy then. All right, no worries, bro. Take care, Zach. But yeah, bro, I gotta get a new wheel stand. My wheel stand's behind me over there. But at the bottom of my wheel stand, it literally snapped, bro. So I gotta get another wheel stand. My luck and timing is just not great at all. Oh, yeah, need to do another GT3 tier list. I want to wait until the Barcelona comes out because I got a feeling they're gonna change it again. I'm using an old GT Omega one. It's really old though. But I'm gonna buy a new one, bro. I want to get a seat and stuff. Look, I'm sick of having these chairs moving around on me. You know what I'm saying? Sick of having all these chairs moving around on me, bro. When is the next update? Oh, they didn't they say like the end of like January or something? What's 4080? Yeah, I think Darking's brother's selling his rig. I'm probably just gonna buy it for them. 48 is a profile rig. Your game's lagging. Nearly down to bronze. Dang. Yeah, nah, bro. You just sort that out, man. I have no idea. No idea why that would be happening, bro. Oh yeah, once I get a stand on my pedals, like on my chair, I've not been on a chair that doesn't move for when was it? I think I started ACC on a chair that didn't move, bro. And even though it was like a little crappy chair, just having the stability of just not moving when I'm driving, bro. Like even like now, if I sit down, I get up to go to the toilet and come back. I'm not sat in the exact same place I was before. You know what I mean? So I'll be pushing the pedals, my stand will be moving, my chair's moving, but obviously I've got so used to it. You know what I mean? Luke, you notice who it was straight away. You notice who it was straight away, man. Did you watch the race? Kevin Schmitz. Oh, that was a good race, man. Very good race. Interesting. Yep. But I thought Walsingham, I thought he was going to pull it off for a minute. When I saw 10 seconds, I was like, bro, if he pulls this off, this might be one of the greatest drives. But once that gap got cut down, it was like, yeah, bro, it's over with. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting old now, bro. I'm getting old. These young guys are too fast. I'm not even joking. These young guys, they're too quick, bro. I'm getting old. Getting old, man. I think I would be faster. Like, like before, I started off really fast at the time, but these young kids, bro, like they're just, I can't. It's just, I guess it just happens, man. It just happens. Even it's crazy. Even down to watching my daughter. when she's playing, because my daughter plays mouse and key. Sometimes I'll go in the bedroom and I'm watching her, bro. Her hands are moving at 1,000 miles per hour. I'm thinking, bro, I could never. Like, just pass me the control pad. I'm not doing all this. But she's moving at like 1,000 miles per hour, but she's not even looking at the keyboard, bro. I'm like, yeah, it's just a generation thing. If you look at like what you got, Lewis Werrell, that kid's like 15. You got that Ribeiro kid, he's like 15. All these young guys, bro, they're just fast, just like that. I guess when I was younger, first started sim racing, that's probably how older people used to look at us, you know. And it's still fast compared to like the majority of people, but yeah, there's a lot of young guns that are just insane now, man. But that's what happens, bro. Yo, GMD, what's going on, bro? That's just what happens. Yeah, I do it for the love. I don't, bro. I've never. I'm not saying never had the competitive mindset, because I feel like, particularly back in the day, Project Cars 2, I wanted to win. But bro, once you just enjoy the racing, bro, not really ask. I just want to perform to my best, have a good race, have some good battles, bro. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I'm not going crazy and putting in hours and hours of practice like I used to do that, though. I used to absolutely grind. If I had a race that was on Monday, I would grind the whole week until the race, bro. Literally. That's how I used to go racing. It wasn't about fun. I just wanted to win. Man said DR keeps tempting my competitiveness, you know. Bro, the DR grind is sad. Yeah, for me, as long as I'm performing and not making mistakes, I'm chilling, bro. Because, I mean, you can chase the fast guys if you want. You can try. Some of that stuff is natural ability, bro. I said an old man league, you know. Yeah, I've seen somewhere these dudes doing a old. I think it must have been on Facebook. I've seen these dudes doing like a league for like over 30s and that. I think it was for ACC though. Bets League, something like that. But hell, as long as I can still make split one, chilling. When I start dropping down to split 2s and 3s, it's time to hang it up, lads. You know what I mean, hang it up. It's cool. It's fine. I'm pretty good at music anyway. Can do something else. I said I feel 50 at least. Yeah, 30's young. 30's young. That's still way younger than I am. My birthday's coming up soon. 41 on March the 11th. I still feel young, but the time just flies, bro. Actually flies. Like, I can remember stuff that I was doing in my like 20s like it was yesterday, literally. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's been like 18 years, bro. He's 48 this year. That's what, bro. I don't, honestly, I don't even feel 40, bro. I cannot tell you where the time has gone. You turning 20 on 22nd of April. You're still young, bro. You're still proper young. Like, when I was 30, I still felt like 30 was still kind of young. When I was 20, I felt like 30 was old. Bro, this is the thing, Des. This is the thing that you don't know. I told these man in Discord that City were gonna get smoked. I said this, bro. You know what I mean? You need to understand, like, I predicted City were gonna lose that game, bro. I knew they would lose. Because even when City have been good, they always struggle against United, bro. And City, when I look at City, bro, they can't defend. These man, they can't defend, bro. I was like, they're gonna lose. I saw City defending on the halfway line. I was like, yeah, they're losing, bro. I watched that game for 20 minutes and I knew there's no way United are not gonna score because City are just way open. You know what I mean? But I kind of expected it. I know City, they're gonna play into United's hands, defend on the halfway line, leave all this space in behind, bro. You're gonna get cooked. I'm glad it happened too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I wish we were playing City now. Prediction for our match. You lot are losing, fam. We're not City, bro. Like, look, you lot had one good game. Chill out. Right, DC. Appreciate it, bro. See you later, man. Take care. These man had new manager bounce, bro. United fans think they're back. We've seen this about 4 or 5 different times, you know. New manager bounce like 4 or 5 times, bro. Like unlike City, we don't have to play well to win. City, they have to play good to win a game, bro. We can literally play crap scumbag of wins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to try, man. It's expensive though, real life racing, but you got to try. You're feeling good, bro. I'm sure you are feeling good, bro. But I said 3-0. You think you're scoring 3 at the Emirates, brother? Wait, you're having a laugh. We're having a laugh, mate. Man's gonna be feeling good until we swing in that first corner, innit? As soon as we get that first corner, all that feel good. Your goalkeeper's getting bullied on them corners, bro. I'm telling you. Seen that dude on corners, bro. He looking flimsy. He's getting bullied. Trust me. I'm feeling a little. I think it's gonna be like 2-1 to Arsenal, to be honest. I feel like these men are gonna get bullied, fam. I can't lie. You know, I know you man have got Harry Maguire, you man saviour and that, but I still look at man like Delo. There's still weakness there. Like, don't get me wrong, you lot had a good result. You just don't have a great team, though. You know what I mean? You don't have a great team. That's the reality, bro. You know, you put in a good performance, but you're not the only team. You know what I mean? I'd prefer to play Man United than play like Aston Villa, bro. That's the truth. Yeah, we gotta take it this year. We've been playing around, bro. We should be we should at least be 9 points clear right now. But it's like I said to them lot on Discord, like, if you look at the fixtures, we've played the majority of hard teams away already, bro. Played Liverpool away, played Chelsea away, played United away, played Newcastle away. You know what I mean? Played Villa away. We've played all these hard away games already. City haven't. City have played most of their big games at home. You know what I mean? Like, City, they played Liverpool at home. They played Chelsea at home. As soon as they went away to Villa, Newcastle, they lost. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sweating it too much, bro. I feel like, what hard game we got left? We've been Anfield already. We've been Stamford Bridge already. Where else we got to go? We've been Newcastle already. I think it's like Tottenham, but it's Tottenham, innit? All we've got left is Tottenham and City, I think. Yeah, City are not the same, bro. Bro, listen, that whole February curse thing, bro. Like, if you read into that, you can if you want, but you have to read into the actual context, bro. Like, people are saying Arsenal bottled the league. If Arsenal bottled the league, tell me how it's a bottle if everyone said that Man City had a better team than us, they have a better manager than us, they had a better squad than us. Okay, so if they beat us to the title, how is it a bottling, bro? Everyone said that their team was better. It don't make sense. I mean, the reality is, the past few seasons, when you looked at Arsenal's squad, we had a decent first 11, but the moment we got 1-2 injuries, bro, we were cooked. That's the main reason why Arsenal always fell off. We got injuries at the wrong time. We didn't have quality to replace it, bro. It's the same for everyone. Look last season when the Haaland got injured for Man City, what happened, bro? Fell off. You know? Yeah, no one cares about City. We already know this, bro. These men have got no rivals, fam. These men have got no rivals. These lot would rather... Everyone rivals Arsenal because we're important. No one cares what City do. Nobody. That's sort of how it is, man. Unless you're a United fan, Liverpool fan, Arsenal fan, you don't really know what it's like to... I guess Chelsea as well. You don't really know what it's like to have that real rivalry. I guess you can throw Tottenham in there. You don't really... Like, other teams don't really have that real rivalry where people are just willing to stop you at all costs, bro. I know, bro, people can't stand Arsenal, you know. Can't stand Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's to the point where, like, don't get me wrong, I'm biased, but I'm not biased to the point where I can see, like, something that'll be like a blatant penalty or a blatant foul and say, nope, it's not a foul, just because I don't like the team. Like, I can, if it's a foul, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that deep to admit it. But these guys, bro, they cannot admit nothing that goes in Arsenal, against Arsenal or in Arsenal's favour, bro. What was the season where we were getting some very, very weird red cards, like for kicking the ball away, and then man was seeing other players and matches kicking the ball away and nothing was happening. So when we're questioning stuff, people are like, oh, you lot are just moaning. It's like, well, nah, I'm just asking, like, how come this guy didn't get a yellow card? Like, what's going on there? Do you know what I mean? What's going on there, mate? And they don't want to see Arsenal win. But at the end of the day, we've been there in and around it for the last 3 seasons, bro. You know what I mean? Hey, have you noticed, as soon as Arsenal start winning, now the league's rubbish. We're winning because the league's rubbish. All right, cool. We must not all be playing the same teams then, innit? We must only be playing rubbish teams, I guess. I can already tell you what's going to happen to Man United. Carrick might have a little new manager bounce, and then the owners will say, do you know what? Yeah, let's sign this guy permanently. Start next season, bruv, getting cooked. You know what I mean? Same thing happened with Ollie, bro. New manager bounce, playing well. Once all that shit wore off, bro, cooked. You know what I mean? Reason is that it's deeper than just... It's the whole culture at Man United is just cooked, bro. These men are still trying to do up Fergie. Yeah, do it the Fergie way, bro. Fergie's way isn't working now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fergie's way is not working in 2026, brother. And plus, you don't have better players than everyone. Back in the day, United had better players, bro. So it didn't really matter. You've already seen the players saying, like, Ferguson was doing man management. He wasn't a coach, bro. He wasn't coaching the players. He was just a good man manager. There's a difference. Pep Guardiola is a coach, so he will make certain players better. Hence the reason why Sterling looked like a very good player under Pep and then doesn't anywhere else, man. Yeah, there'll never be another Fergie, but at the end of the day, let's be honest, bro. Back then, United had all the financial power. They could spend more money. They had the biggest fan base. The referees were in Fergie's pocket, bro. He's the only manager that could tell the media, I ain't doing no interview and get away with it, bro. No one else could do that. No one. You know what I mean? They loved Fergie. You have to, most of the referees, they're all from up north as well, bro. You can't trust these guys, bro. Cannot trust these guys at all. The amount of dodgy decisions that United have got at Old Trafford back in the day, it's like, bro, you cannot trust these dudes, bro. At all. But now, Fergie would struggle to win the Prem now. You have to understand, back in the day, United were winning the Prem, losing all 4 or 5 matches in that. You can't lose 5 matches now. I mean, United be winning the Premier League on like 81 points, 82 points. Like, it's a different time, bro. In terms of coaching, Pep is better than Fergie, bro. Fergie is a very good man manager, but in terms of coaching, and the reason that you can tell this as well, because if you look at all the players under Fergie who became manager, they're all terrible, bro. Every single one of the coaches that were under Fergie as a player or staff, when they go into management, they cannot take nothing Fergie taught them because they didn't learn nothing. there was no coaching from Fergie, just a good man management, bro. Yeah, Pep has spent billions, but in the time where Fergie was about, he still had the financial muscle that City have got in terms of what they were able to do. They broke the transfer record. They bought Ferdinand. You know what I mean? They were able to buy just top players all the time, bro. You know what I mean? Like, United were doing that constantly. They always just had a better team than everybody else. Man City still crying after Pep. Yeah, he spent billions, but if you look at everywhere where Pep went, let's be honest, like that Barcelona team, that is the best football team, period, bro. In footballing history, that Barca team that Pep had is the best footballing team, period, bro. No one comes close, no one can touch him, bro. They slapped everybody and they embarrassed everybody. You know what I mean? Pep did that. What was Fergie's style, bro? Fergie didn't have a style. There wasn't really a style of football. You know what I mean? What was his actual style? We can pinpoint exactly what Pep's style was. We can pinpoint what Arsene Wenger's style is. You cannot pinpoint what Fergie's style is because it wasn't really a style to it. You just had better players than everybody else. And if you played a team that was technically wingers, bro, everyone was using wingers then. Everybody played 4-4-2. Literally everybody. That's not a style. That's just a formation, bro. Like, everyone played wingers back in the day. But if you look at his actual technical style of football, all Fergie used to do, if you played someone crap, he'd just overpower. You could just overpower them. But if you played anyone good, you just used to counter-attack. It's not really a style, though. That's just tactics. Okay, for this game, we'll employ these tactics to win it. Wenger had a style, bro. You know what I mean? Guardiola has an actual style. That's why I reiterate, if you look at all the people that became managers under Fergie, they're all terrible, bro. Solskjaer rubbish, Gary Neville rubbish, who else? Roy Keane rubbish, fucking Steve Bruce rubbish. Every single guy that was under Fergie was a rubbish manager. You know what I mean? Now, if you look at the people that were under Pep, you had Arteta, you had Maresca, you know what I mean? All these people that are managing to do so. I mean, remember Gary Neville, like Valencia said, this guy is the worst manager they've ever seen, bro. Don't get me wrong, Fergie's man management was legendary, but yeah. Like, if you're talking about, you know, coaching and stuff, even the players said it, Fergie didn't do the coaching, bro. You know what I mean? Fergie didn't do no coaching, like. You know what I mean? So, as a manager, man manager, yeah, you like definitely one of the greatest. But if we're talking about like coaching, like, yeah, I mean that's a whole different argument, bro. I mean, Pep Guardiola, like, what did Fergie do that changed football? He didn't change football, bro. There was nothing that Fergie did that made everyone say, yeah, I'm going to do this. When Wenger came to England, bro, it was Wenger that changed all the diet and everything of all the players, bro. And then everybody else copied. He changed the game in England. You know what I mean? All this playing out from the back, tiki-taka, Guardiola changed the game. What did Fergie change, bro? Nothing. Didn't change nothing, man. I mean, and that's why when the 2 times Man United played Barca in the final, they got cooked. You know what I mean? They got cooked because tactically, Fergie did not know what to do with these lot. Well, no one really did because they were a lot better than people. But if you look, there were other teams that did a lot better against that Barca team than what United did. Because Fergie didn't know what to do. He couldn't attack him. He didn't have no plan, bro. I mean, Mourinho did better against the Barca team with his teams because he knew, right, I'm going to do this. And we already knew what Mourinho's coaching style was. Even down to him, and I don't even like Mourinho, but you knew what his coaching style was. Or his team style, like, you know. They're going to be hard to beat. You know what I mean? Incredibly defensive. They're going to give you no spaces once you cross the halfway line. You knew what it was. A lot of with Fergie was just like, well, he just had better players, man. You know what I mean? United just had better players, they had the financial muscle, and every top British talent wanted to play at Man United. So they always had the monopoly of the transfer market. If you look at Arsenal back in the day, we had to find guys that were gems. We couldn't just go out and spend, at the time, let's go spend 30 million on a defender. We couldn't do that. We had to find some unknown defender and make him good like Torre. You know what I mean? That's what we had to do. We couldn't just go, let's go buy Ferdinand for 30 mil. You man were buying Sebastian Veron, Diego Forlan. You man were buying ballers, bro. Yeah, Bayern a very good team. But again, Bayern have always been a team that's coached well, bro. You know what I mean? Bayern have always been, even from back in the day, Bayern were super hard to beat. Back when they had like Roy Mackay, they've always been a tough team. They're one of the giants though. I would say if we go all the way back, to me the giants are Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, AC Milan. Yeah, that's who I feel like I get at Liverpool. I guess you could say Liverpool as well. But that's who I feel like the real European giants are. Even Ajax used to be a giant, to be honest. You know, if we're naming them, like I feel like obviously Chelsea, Man City, more recently they've come about, but yeah, those to me are more the original giants of European football. Like you did not want to play Juventus back in the day. Yari Littmanen, baller. Patrick Kluivert, oh my god. Back in the day, like right now, I generally don't feel like there's a lot of world-class players. There's like maybe 5 genuine world-class players. Back in the day, there was loads everywhere. Almost every team had at least 1 or 2 world-class players, bro. Think about this. Man like Zola used to struggle to get in the Italian team, bro. Zola, you know. Henry wasn't even like guaranteed first choice for France. Henrik Larsson, great striker. It's crazy, man. Like there was so many good players back in the day. Now I feel like the players get the wages so early that they're getting paid for greatness before they've even been great. Zinedine Zidane, Larsson, Pavel Nedved, Del Piero, Gabriel Batistuta, George Weah, Adriano Racote, bro. I could go on forever, bro. There were so many dope players back in the day. This is before the Premier League was even strong. The Premier League wasn't even the strongest league back then. Man said you're gonna buy 3 copies of a book, you know. I'll gift you one, huh? Alright. Alright, bro. Edgar Davids, bad boy. Yeah, bro, I've got a copy of my book right here. You know, like that. Yeah, like nowadays, bro, I can't think of like many players right now who I would say, yo, this guy is world class, bro. You know what I mean? World class. Like who? Who's like genuine, like world class? Who? Bro, I don't even rate half these guys. I can't even lie. Most of these guys I just don't even rate. I just don't think they're that special. I mean, I saw Ronaldinho play, Rivaldo, R9. You know what I mean? I saw these men play. They all sign it, bruv. Trust me. But I don't think I'm gonna need to still. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm gonna need to. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them 3 copies, but maybe I'll give them away. Maybe I'll do like a giveaway. Oh, okay, you moved to the US. Yeah, man. Time zones and stuff, innit? It's gonna happen. Well, it is what it is, man. But this season, I just need to see Arsenal do what I need to do. Listen, people criticising Arsenal, but top of the league, top of the Champions League. We're halfway to the final in the Carabao Cup, still in the FA Cup. What am I complaining about, bro? I got nothing to complain about. You know what I mean? And I still look at Arsenal and feel like this team's not perfect, bro. You know what I mean? I don't feel like our attack is fluent, but we're still top. What does that tell you, bro? I mean, we still got improvements to make. We can still get better. Most of these other men, bro, they're running at maximum, bro. But anyway, lads, listen, I'll be back Wednesday. We got some good races coming up this week, so I'll be doing some of those. And yeah, should be a good one. Glad you lot stopped by though. It was a good race. We got to watch. Maybe we'll do the watch along every time it's on the Monday, and should be good, I guess. But anyway, lads, I'm gonna head off. It's 5 to 11 in it, so yeah, definitely jumping off. But I'll catch you guys in a bit. Take care of yourselves and that, and yeah, I'll be seeing you. Peace.